what I
Ah, man, yo, 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 yo. What is up, my fellow memory investors, stock market enthusiast, QQQ enjoyer, HIMS pill consumers, dress shirt wearing, slack dressing? What the fuck is up, baby? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How y'all living, man? Welcome back to the stream. Look, my voice is fucking cooked. You know, I just realized, whatever happened to spy puts? We don't hear too much from that fella these days, huh? Whatever happened to bro? We don't hear too much from him at all, ever. That was like every day for a week type of situation. We don't hear from brother ever. You don't hear too much from the the put fellas these days. But look, welcome back to the fucking stream. It was a long weekend. Okay, I actually didn't party. I partied on Friday, but let me try to fix it. I partied on Friday just a little bit, but Sunday, yesterday, I spent the entire day, 12 hours, maybe it was longer, 14 hours on a set doing something fun that you'll be able to see very shortly. But I can't tell you yet. I can't show you yet. But you'll be able to see it very shortly. It was yesterday was call time at 10 a.m. and I got home at 11:30. It was fried. I got home at 11:30 and it was really cool. You'll probably get to see it. Damn, what do I do? I need like a cough drop. It's actually fucked. You'll probably be able to see it in like, I don't know, a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3. But man, that shit is tough. So it was a good weekend. It was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there. And welcome back to the fucking, what do I do? Fuck, it's bad. Welcome back to the stream, baby. I told you some things are worth sacrificing your health for, and monitoring situation is absolutely one of them. On that note, roll call, baby. Roll call. Malcolm, what's good? Swings, what's good? Alex, what's good? Kevin, what's good? Cole, what's good? Tingle, what's good? Vibla, what's good? Buddha, what's good? Rockefeller, what's good? Eli's, what's good? Erking, what's good? Jackson Ray, what's good? Stardick, what's good? Budick, what's good? Tulip King, what's good? Polka, what's good? Doodle, what's good? Damn, this shit is bad. Ark, what's good? Moncock Mexican was good. Jack, what is up, brother? Raspberry, what is up, brother? Archive, what is up, brother? Rex, what is up, brother? Yonian, what is up, brother? Zaru, lit. Riley. What is up? All right, welcome back to the stream, man. Look, we have a lot to talk about today. It's a wild day. You never get a shout out. D-list. It's a tough one to read. By the way, you got to understand when I'm reading the roll call, it's moving really fast. And so I can only read like whole names, like Moto, easy. The Buddha Head, tough one. Ark, tough one. Pudgy, easy one. Tweba, somewhere in the middle. Alex, easy one. Yonan, easy one. Rex, easy one. Squaba, Cole Money, easy one. Lit, easy one. Rockefeller, easy. ND Kicks, tough. Caleb, easy. Ether, easy. Big Tony Cash, easy. Han Solo 85 in the middle. Zaru in the middle. Viblet, like Avoxin XD, really tough. You got to understand. So sometimes you get skipped, but it's not on purpose. But look, welcome back. We have a lot to talk about today. We have a lot to get into. We have a lot to cover. It was the weekend. It was a relatively, I don't know. It was a fun-ish, kind of slow, somewhere in between weekend in the markets. We had a lit close, or we're about to have a lit close. Crypto is fucking frustrating and annoying, and I have a lot of takes on crypto. Eli's 590 line has held very strong on Zcash, and I'm worth a lot less money today than I was on Friday night. Okay? Worth a lot less money than I was on Friday night. And Bitcoin is, I don't know. Smiley Capital, thanks for the 25 gifted. Thank you for the 25 gifted. But here's what we're going to do. We have a lot to cover. We have HIMS earnings. I'm going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about crypto a little bit. We're going to talk about market stocks, oil, war, all of it. We have David Hoffman coming on stream in about an hour and 10 minutes to talk about flooring his punk for 65 ETH to buy Zcash, which is very interesting. I probably won't keep him on for that long, but I do want to hear from him. Funny enough, the best looking altcoin other than VVV is Solana, which is really ironic. Ton just got a Pavel shill, which has it moving very well. Cerebras IPO on Thursday. And this Wednesday, we will be joined by Chris Camillo, my GOAT, maybe one of my favorite traders of all time. And on Thursday, we will be joined by Airmass, who is becoming just... Thank you for the gift, Dylan. He's just like becoming the guy. He's becoming the guy. So we're cooking on outreach. We're cooking on guests. We're going to have a lit stream today. I'm going to do my best to get through it. I'm sick as fuck. But everybody want to be a beast till it's time to do a beast do. So I got to get it out. I got to get back on the flow of things. We'll do market close in 8 minutes. And we're going to have a fun stream. So I love you all. All right, quick story time. So Friday, I go to this party on Friday. And a couple of my like basketball friends from LA are visiting. One of them. And he's not a markets guy. I don't know him from trading. I don't know him from markets. I don't know him. I know him from like playing basketball in like the men's league. And he's in New York. And it's my homie's party. And so I invite him. I'm like, yo, you should come to this party. I don't even know what he does for work. No clue. We never talk about work. We never talk about finance. He knows I'm like a finance guy, but we never talk about it. And he comes to the party, and we're having a good time. We're talking. We're chopping it up. And out of nowhere, he says to me and is like, okay, I need your advice. I'm like, all right, what do you need? And he's like, I need you to tell me honestly, should I or should I not be buying Serenity stock shills? And I was like, what? How do you know Serenity? And he's like, what do you mean, brother? Everybody knows Serenity. Everybody with a Robinhood account knows Serenity. I'm seeing him posting all these Sive, Poet, like, should I be buying Serenity shills? And I'm kind of looking at him like, oh, fuck my life. Fuck my life. And so we talked about it for a while. And he starts telling me that he had like 50, 60, 70K in his Robinhood account that it just, I don't know where it came from. 401k. I don't exactly know where it came from, but he had like 50, 60, 70K. And I swear on everything this story happened, and he's not a finance guy. And so he tells me he has like 50, 60, 70K in his Robinhood account like 3 months ago, and has basically just been punting options on memory, Micron, all this shit, NVIDIA, buying all of this stuff. And he ran 50, 60, 70K to like 500K in the last 3 months, just buying, basically closing his eyes and buying options on Serenity shills and on memory. And I asked him what you did with it. What'd you do with the money? And he's like, well, I lost it. I'm like, okay. Ran it back down to 100K. But I was thinking about it. And I think an under-discussed element of the last 3-4 months, really the last 2 months, since Carg Island nuke scare, market pulls back 15%, then basically goes up in a straight line, is I think for the first time in a while, retail has had some serious wealth effect. Like there has been underrated aspect of what's happened very recently here is that all the hot names are up a lot, brother. So I have this tweet, and PV Poopo, I think he's wrong here. Is like a fair amount of this is firms like Jane Street and HRT cannibalizing the business of other firms in the industry, but a lot of just degenerate retail gambling slowly bleeding out money to the market makers. It's sad. And the quote tweet is like, yeah, I'm sure retail traders are having a really sad year so far. And so I think there's an underrated thing that's happened in the markets where retail is fucking wealthy. Like retail has made a lot of money recently. Like you could have just closed. I mean, it's funny because like I'm sitting here looking at this guy. He's up 400K on just closing his eyes on punts. I spend all day, every day, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not up 500. I'm like looking at my P&L like, fuck my life. What have I been doing? But that isn't exactly the point. The point is that there's definitely been a wealth effect, and I think there's been enough. I mean, I'm pulling numbers out of my ass, but I think there's been enough of a wealth effect to sustain the next like 2 years of further and further and further and further out on the risk appetite. And I'm not trying to say that it all flows back into crypto, but I am saying that there is so much fucking money in the system right now. It's pretty wild. So that happened first. I hang out with this kid, then we cut it. It's like 2, 3 a.m. And we're like, all right, are we done with this party? You want to go after? We're like, fuck it, let's go out after. And so we go to a bar, right? We go to this bar, and I'm basically ready to be done with the night, but we're there, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, and there's like one bathroom in this bar. It's like 500 people. So I'm standing in line. I had to pee so bad. I'm standing in line, and the guy behind me is like, yo. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I turn around. Yo, what's up, brother? And he's like, you look familiar. And I look at him, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And he's like, no, like, you look really familiar. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't know, like, whatever. What's your name? Michael? Cool, good to meet you, bro. You look, whatever. And I stand there. It was like kind of awkward because we stand there for 10 minutes. I don't really want to talk to him. Not because I'm an asshole, but just because it's like, bro, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I don't really want to do this right now. You know what I mean? And so I sit there for a couple minutes. He kind of like looking at me. I'm just like on my phone, whatever. I go to the bathroom, pee, walk back out, order a drink. I'm like standing, talking to a couple people. 30 minutes pass, and he walks over on the way out to leave, and he taps me on the back. And he's like, I turn around, I'm like, what's up? And he's like, good luck on your Zcash trade. Turns around, walks out of the bar. I open my phone. I pull up TradingView. I look at Zcash, and it's $610. And I think to myself, no, it's $630. It was ripping that night, Friday night. It's $630. I look at my phone, and I'm like, fuck my actual life. I should sell. Fuck my life. I should sell. And I didn't. So we're here. Force the stream. This is what we do, baby. Welcome back to the fucking stream. Market close just happened. We have a lot to cover. We have a lot to get into. Oh, last thing, by the way. If you're unemployed and in needs of some finances, you should go camp out front of the Swatch AP drop. I'll buy it. I will buy it off you for 4x. I will. I would pay 2K. I think retail's 500. I pay 2K for one. 100%. I'll buy it off you for 2K. 100%. I think it's going to be one of the craziest resell hype beast resurgence events in a really long time. in a really long time. Seriously, if you're unemployed and your boys are unemployed, rally them up, go get a tent, bring some portable chargers, and sit outside that store because there's going to be a lot of money to be made. I really think there is. There's going to be a lot of money to be made, and you can watch my stream from there. You can watch my stream from there. I really, 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 really think. So, Malcolm, yeah, I really think if you're unemployed, I want to buy one. I really want to buy one. I really want to buy one. Okay, we're going to get into market close right now. I am going to show you this tweet now just because it went pretty viral. I have found myself, apparently everybody has my Hyperliquid wallet now, by the way. Apparently everybody has my Hyperliquid wallet, and I have found myself in the midst of a PvP that I did not ask for against the most profitable Hyperliquid trader of all time. Of all time, okay? This screenshot got posted today. I'm just going to show it because it's everywhere. Back to back in 5 minutes, Loracle, who is up, I don't know, $200 and something million all time on Hyperliquid, opens an $11 million BTC short. And threadguy, me, who I didn't even know people were tracking my wallet like that. Like, I'd seen a couple people do it, but I didn't know every position I open and close is being publicized on Twitter. And so I'm just like, honestly, no thesis. I'm just like looking at the 15-minute candle. I'm a little bit bored. I'm like kind of in the mood to gamble. I'm a little bit like salty. I'm frustrated. I'm texting Mando all pissed off about Zcash. I'm about to go for a walk and I'm like, fuck it. I'm long in Bitcoin. Like, fuck you guys. I'm long in Bitcoin. Like, no thesis, no edge, no alpha. I'm not watching stretched flows. I'm just like, whatever. And so I click into like a really tight BTC long, like a tight stop loss. Like, I'm not like a tight stop loss. And then I start getting tagged on Twitter. No, I see this tweet. I have Pepper on for noties. I see this tweet. And it's like Loracle versus threadguy. And I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about? And so I like searched my name on Twitter, which I've been doing way too much these days. And I see this screenshot. And I'm like, bro, fuck my life. And so I reply to the Pepper tweet. And I'm like, this does not feel great. And Crypto Ethan replies and is like, I'm rooting for you. And I'm like, bro, I only opened this because you posted in a Telegram that you were long Bitcoin. What do you mean you're rooting for me? Like, I'm literally only in this position because of you. You posted, it looks good. I'm like, yeah, fuck, it looks decent. And they're on the TL, like, rooting for threadguy against Loracle. So, I don't know. I'm still in the trade. And Bitcoin looks just so uninspiring. But there's a couple alts right now with some motion that look decent. That is keeping me a little bit intrigued and a little bit excited. So, bro, you're up 200% on Zcash. You already legend. It doesn't matter. Your unrealized P&L is like a complete waste of time. It doesn't matter. But I actually think BTC looks pretty good. I'm going to sit in it because, I don't know, it's a lot of fucking size. I have a tight stop. And chart looks good. All things considered. So, all right. Market close just happened. Also, bear with me. I'm sorry. My voice is fried. I'm sick as fuck. I'm sick. I had a 14-hour day yesterday, but we got an important stream. Every day's an important stream. We got the big Hoff coming on, man. We got the Hoff coming on, and so we got to fucking lock in and make it happen. So, all right. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter and you would like to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. And without further ado, market close just happened. You already know the drill. You know what we do. You know how we cover it. You know what we like to do. What are you in? What do you like? What do you hate? What did you make money on? What did you lose money on? What are you bullish on? What are you bearish on? Give me your positions. IO and Q. What do you in? What are you in? Long MSTR. That little Eli's, you little fucker, man. I'll tell you what. Near Tau, APLD, Nokia, BlackBerry, nice. Still in VVV from all-time high break. Is that the Mando method? Is that why you did it? Because it looks amazing. EWY, Intel. Yes, on the Mando method. Good for you, brother. I'm in MSTR calls. I bought 50 tickers. Not kidding. Okay. Any notable ones? Rocket Lab since 14. All right, G. Did HIMS just miss? We're about to check. HIMS out. We're going to check first. Light, SK Hynix, Bitcoin, Intel, Apple, Hype, BTC. What else? 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 AOI since 12, Rocket Lab, Fly, Micron, Nebius, Ondo, Tesla, Near. Anyone in Ton? Anyone in Solana? Where's the Solana? Wave, are you in Solana? You told me it looks good. I called you a retard. Why are you always getting sick? I don't know. My immune system's weak. What else? What else? What else? What else? Spot Solana. Wow. Asteroid. Hate Ton. Troll versus Asteroid. Barachain, you're lying. You gotta be lying. You gotta be lying. You gotta be lying. ICP, bro. First chatter. Kissing Q-Toots. Nope. Same guy. Literally sold all my soul a few days ago. I'm sorry, bro. If it was because of me, I'm sorry. I'm actually sorry. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Sweet. Long leverage. All right. Let's cover it. We're looking at AKT today. I don't even know what that is. No, mark that. Someone mark that down. Mando call. We're not going to miss it. Let's start with HIMS. Earnings guy. You already know the deal. Let's get it. Okay, Mara, big miss. Where's HIMS? Where is HIMS? Oh my God. Double miss on HIMS. Not great. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. So 26 is, what's it look like on HL? HIMS. Funding is still super positive. That's kind of an ugly chart. Gnarly double top. 28 and dropping. It's on like 4%. Let's let it play out for a little bit and see. I know a lot of people are along this chart. If you remember, the $26 marked is that I forget it, I can't think of his name now. Funding is basically how much it costs to keep the position open on per buck. And so if there's more longs than shorts, longs are paying you to be short. If there's more shorts than longs, shorts are paying you to be long. And so it's a decent way to tell like how people are positioned. And so like funding is 420%, and so it's super positive. There's way more longs than there are shorts. TJ, I took your advice and got out, so thank you. All right, let's go over whole market close and see where we're at. Let's see where we are at. And honestly, man, crypto does not look bad. All right, S&P 500, the SPY, SPX, the SPY, new all-time high today. SPY closes at 740, and SPX closed at 74.12. Giga all-time high, up about like 0.2, 0.3%. And I mean, it's just a fucking monster. It's unbelievable how this thing moves. It's unbelievable how it trades. And it's just been one of the craziest charts one of the craziest markets we've seen. Q's up 0.3. IGV, this little piece of shit, even though it does look pretty good, is down 0.44%. SOX, the semi ETF is just, it's now up 74% off the lows, and it is fucking unbelievable what this thing looks like. The Kospi was limit up at plus 4% on last close. Dow is up 0.2, and the Nasdaq is up 0.4. SOX listed on Lighter with 10x lev. Is that true? That's awesome if that's true. I mean, look at this chart, bro. It's just so disgusting. SPX. It's so unbelievable what this thing looks like. It's up 17.4%. Is insane. Also, yeah, I did see that wheat is listed on Lighter. Is anyone long any weird futures, like weird commodities? Wheat, any of this? I'm interested if you are. Very interested if you are. All right, moving over to crypto. Man, I'm going to be honest, like, the hype and overall performance of the stretch Ponzi is pretty weak. And let's see what they bought. Stretch is over 100. They bought what? I'm just seeing like a lot of people complaining about stretch. A lot of people complaining about stretch. They bought 1,300 Bitcoin today, 1,370. But I must admit, the Bitcoin chart looks pretty good to me. Like, it could use some volume. Wouldn't fucking hurt. But, I mean, pick a direction on this chart. This to me is a long. I don't know. I am long. I have no real edge, no real conviction on BTC high time frame. But this chart to me is this looks good. 4 hour, like pick away, Western man. Pick a direction. Long short on this, pick a direction. I mean, this is to me is long. Gun to head in GTA. It's late to long. I disagree with you, man. Crypto just has not moved. And I will say this. The last night I was on set, and so I wasn't paying that much attention to the market other than just watching the charts. The low time frame bid on Bitcoin, Zcash, Solana, VVV, and a couple others was unbelievable. Really, I'm shocked it retraced it. It was pretty. The retrace was pretty gross, and we'll see how this plays here. Like if it gets back to those levels, and it looks great. Market makers are printing an incredible chart. What's off? I'm sick, bro. I'm like perpetually sick. I've been sick for like 3 fucking weeks. I feel terrible. I had a 14-hour day yesterday, but the market prevails. The bid yesterday was so gross. I was watching the Zcash bid. It was so nasty, bro. I thought yesterday we were about to just go for it on this right here. I thought we were just going to go for it on this. But it obviously broke down. And so going back to higher time frame, I don't know. I think crypto, again, my positioning and my thinking remains the exact same. I think sector wide, it would take almost nothing to get a crazy bid. I would love to see flows consolidate within a couple alts and let them like really lead. VVV looks unbelievable right now. Zcash has pulled back, but high time frame Zcash I think looks great. Hyperliquid is like whatever. Ton reacting positively on good news again is nice to see. And I think this Bitcoin chart looks pretty fucking interesting. So BTC 81.9, Zcash 556. I haven't sold a single coin. I have not sold a single coin of Zcash yet. Low time frame kind of ugly. High time frame is gross. Good, gross in a good way, right? It's like red candle is lower volume, lower volume, lower volume, lower volume. I really wouldn't like to see this lose like, what's the bottom of this? Is like below like 487, and I'm kind of like, I don't feel great. And maybe there's some serious threadguy round tripping going on. But in this range, I'm just fully chilling. 15% to go from here. So Ton, 2.5 basically. And there was just another Pavel tweet that came out. And I mean, look at the volume of this thing. They ripped it. They pumped it. Nothing crazy, but they pumped it like 5-6% off the lows. And yeah, it's pretty cool to see Ton getting bids on Pavel tweets. Like that is nice to see. That is very nice to see. I don't have a position anymore. I let myself get stopped out for a small loss just because I felt like I was getting fragmented in like lower beta crypto like leverage, and I wasn't feeling great about it. ETH looks fine. I don't know. I hate ETH. 23.3. We'll have David Hoffman on soon. I think Solana is the best looking altcoin chart right now, which is crazy. At least for a little bit of a move here, like, I don't know, into the 120, 130. Like, look at this thing at 97. To me, this kind of looks like that Bitcoin chart before it broke out. Like, if you look at this right here, this chart right here, Solana, looks eerily similar to this, I think. Like, right here. And Bitcoin's broken, like, what? 8% since then. I think Solana looks really good, and I was shitting on Sol really hard. I don't have any like long-term conviction in this at all. But if I wasn't already in all these positions, this is maybe like a decent stab to take. Monero looks decent, 417. Hyperliquid is 42. Like to see it at least. It's not like outperforming anything, but it is printing a pretty nice structure. Bitcoin Dom is 6083. Clean Spark double miss. We'll get there. It's funny. Everything is up today. Metals are up. Silver's up 7%. Chart looks pretty good. Gold's up 0.5%. Crypto is up. Bond yields are up. Oil is also up. And stocks are up. Everything is up. The best looking metal, though, is maybe copper. I mean, look at this thing. Copper weekly is gross. Gross. Love to see that. Is anyone long copper? I saw QWERTY tweeting about it, but not much beyond that on my crypto timeline. Oil up across the board, but you know how I feel about the oil trade at this point. It's like, why long it? Absolutely no reason. Crude 98, Brent 102.5, up 4% and 3% respectively. Defense is basically flat. Palantir down. This chart is, look at this. Look at this chart. This is Northrop. Defense. Let's go weekly on this. It's trading like we'll never go to war again. I mean, it's down. Pico top was basically the day the war started, which is ironic, right? Front ran to shit. And it's done 28% since. Lockheed, which Pete Hegseth tried to buy at the Pico top right before war, is down 26. No, we haven't talked about SUI yet, but we will. SUI. I like SUI. Fuck. We'll call it SUI. And then, all right, semis and big tech. Let's go. AI trade. Sive, the monster today, is up 13%. This is the Serenity main coin, I believe, at least in my eyes, the Serenity main coin. And I have normie friends asking me about Serenity, which is shocking to me, really. I was not surprised, or I was super surprised to see that, but this is hitting like mainstream circles for sure. Rocket Lab, absolute monster, is up another 12% to $118. Bloom Energy printing a nasty candle is up 9%. Nokia looks, I mean, this is, geez. This thing is nuts. Look at this high time frame. Bubble Boy's calling out Serenity like crazy. Bubble Boy made a tweet today and said, he deleted it, but said something along the lines of like putting out a bounty if you could help me gather information to lead to Serenity's arrest. It's crazy. But Nokia is unbelievable what this chart looks like. I know a lot of sharp people are bidding this. It's up 8. QCOM up 8.5. Micron, the Air Mass stock, is up another 6.5. Air Mass is now up 53% from where he came back on the timeline and publicly full ported. Don't have P&Ls, but I tend to believe his size is size. Tesla's up 4 today and actually looks pretty fucking good here. Intel up another 3.6%. Since the Bubble Boy stream, this thing is up a ridiculous 59%. It's wild. Nvidia up 2. Did anyone take this? Did anyone take this trade? It was a pretty cool like retest off ATH. It's sort of like you kind of got trapped here a little bit. I got trapped in this. I longed this first one and then ended up just like letting myself get stopped for a small loss. But it's been a clean one back above, like not much so far, 3.5% so far. But it's a pretty clean, like Mando little ATH break trade. AMD up 1%. Biggest losers today, Google down 2.5%. Meta down another 2%. This thing is now, I mean, it's crazy. Meta's down 25% from ATH. Amazon down 1.3%. Oracle down 1%. SanDisk down 1%. Finally a red day on SanDisk. Feels like it's been forever. Some of our consumer names. We'll get to altcoins next. What do we like here? All right. Circle had a crazy day today. It's up 16%. All the crypto stocks look surprisingly good. I actually let's check IO&Q. You keep spamming it. IO&Q. I don't even really know what this is. Wow, up 15%. Wow, this looks good. It looks really good. Missing Sanders as a photographer makes me question everything. This looks really good. This is a quantum. Oh, this is a quantum name. Clarity not gonna pass. We'll get there. Oracle is short Sandisk. Nebius put in a nice day up 5. Hood up 5. MSTR looks crazy in my opinion. This thing is a monster. Up 5. In the chart, it's like kind of clear skies, really. And we'll see what happens. But it's the highest it's been since December 25. So interesting chart there. Car, ridiculous. Mara with a big miss. Bitcoin miner pivot to AI company. Had a 3% day, but down 3% after hours. SoFi, where's HIMS at? Where's HIMS? Oh. Not good. Really not good. HIMS is down 8% after hours. Let's check in our guy. I don't really want to subscribe. We might have to. Let's see what he said. HIMS earnings played out like a prediction, like I predicted. It's basically a coin flip. Me and my subs got in near 26. Reminder, Q1's when people set their New Year's resolutions. Well, we're basically back at his entry. So if you liked his entry, we're basically back to it. But yes, he did pay all his tweets after a miss, which is crazy. And then outside of that, Figma, worst stock of all time, down 3. GME down 5. Nasty day. And then eBay is where flat basically on the day. Altcoins. Some crazy moves. Is anyone in this coin? I mean, this is just... What an ATH break. I'm pretty pissed at myself that I didn't trade this. It was like, feels so obvious. You could have bought you could have been the last buyer on this thing. And banked it for a monster. Pretty upsetting. Malcolm, check text, please. I'm dying. I can't even speak. Please check your phone. And thanks for the subs. VVV up 18% is nuts. Galaxy I have on the altcoin list. I'll probably move it to consumer names. Looks good. Dogecoin looks fine, but I've been out of this for a while. I'm not really trading it. I'll instruct a Foy to make us tea. Thank you, brother. I'm suffering right now. Monero, Tau, and then everything else looks pretty terrible, really. Monad, Jupiter was printing some nice candles, but it's down 10. XPL, not interested. Pump, not interested. Grass, not interested. Fartcoin, not interested in really doing that. It's like, this is the coin right now. All flows seem to be, what is funding on this thing? Only 26%. Crazy. Can we start numbering the streams? What do you mean by that? Crazy. Wow. This does look good, huh? But, oh, where's Near? Not bad. Not bad on Near. And then last but not least, let us go on chain. Let us go on chain. Are you going to talk about HIMS? Yeah, we are. I mean, we kind of have. I kind of want to listen to the earnings call. We have David Hoffman in 30 minutes to talk about crypto. We have David on 30 minutes to talk about crypto, but we'll... all right, there's been a couple moves. One is the Ton coin. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look great, but we'll see. Asteroid is 144. I don't get this coin. I don't get it. How is this 144? It's like, it's not doing anything. How is it doing? Like, I don't understand how this is just like hanging out here is crazy to me, given the circumstances in crypto. It is crazy to me, but it looks pretty good. There's been some on-chain action actually. Goblin coin is at 18 mil. We're calling that a sender these days. 100%. We're calling that a sender. Cards is at 30. Looks fine. A lot of smart people are showing this to me. But I feel about Scam Altman, 615. Bernie coin, 8. This thing is fried. What was the other one? There's one more on-chain coin. Troll, thank you. Which is pretty crazy, Troll. This is a coin I have a long history of shitting on. But the daily on this thing is nuts. I mean, it's at 117, top ticked 150, and is up. Top tick goes up almost 800%, which is crazy from the lows. And then last but not least, what was it? Is Wojak up? 8 mil on this. Yeah, whatever. Whatever on this. And is there anything else we care about on chain? Is there anything else we care about? SPX, Murad. I haven't seen Murad on my timeline at all recently. You're not really tweeting, huh? They're running events? Sorry, what?
Forever. Persist. Forever. Whoo. Ha. Whoo. Ha. Stop trading and believe in something. Whoo. Ha. Whoo.
Is this real?
Ha. Keep going, guys. Whoo. Louder. Whoo. Ha. Make sure Amsterdam knows. Ha. Whoo.
Dude, I think it's real. I think it's real. Has anyone seen this?
Ha! The eons are here! Eons are here! Ooh! Ha! Whoo! Ha! Whoo! Ha! Persist forever! Persist forever! Whoo! Ha! Whoo! Ha! Whoo! 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hey! That's it.
Sorry, I can't help myself. Got it.
The first stock exchange was established in 1600.
Wow, they're having like conferences. That is fucking wild. So, okay. Crazy day in stocks once again. Crypto cuckery is happening, but you know where I stand with the crypto thesis. I think our best shot here is consolidated flows really tight into 4 or 5 winners that giga outperform. And we're sort of setting up for it to happen. Also, I don't know why, but this makes me optimistic about what could happen to our digital metals. This is a crazy chart, really. I mean, this is a crazy chart. Silver. Is anyone in this? This is a crazy chart. It's still sort of like textbook. Like, I don't really draw lines on charts. It's kind of textbook, but this thing is nuts. Malcolm. Oh, thank you so much. You're the go. chat. Oh. All right, now we can talk. Clean jeans, I guess they're there's no tea. We don't have tea bags. It's just hot water and honey. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Chat, I have some reading I want to do. Okay. I have some reading I want to do, and it's Michael Burry. And I have some takes. I have some rants I want to get in. And this is gonna be war today, gentlemen. Sorry, I don't mean to use that like unironically. But this is gonna be a stream today. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna get up real quick. Give me 30 seconds when I come back. Let's talk about my positioning, my trades, Loracle PvP. Let's do it. It's gonna be a good one. I'll be right back.
Three, two, one.
All right, let's fucking get it. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, whatever you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. We have 27 minutes before David Hoffman comes on. So I'm going to save some of the crypto talk. First thing I want to say, also, yeah, YouTube, Twitter, whatever, I just said that. I apologize again for my my sickness, but look, some things are more fucking important than your health. There are. Some things are more important than your health. It's fucking making generational wealth. So I want to read this tweet one more time because I don't know what happens from here. I really don't. We are in the midst, seriously, of one of the craziest markets of all time. Part of the reason it's so crazy is the market makers are so good. They're so good. They give you the scariest narrative of all time. We go to war escalates, oil pumps, president sounds sporadic and crazy and nuts, threatens nukes on Iran at basically the bottom tick of the market. And from that point on, the market basically decided, we don't give a fuck. We're going up. And the market didn't just go up, but it went up in a straight line. It went up in a straight green candle, piss missile sending green line on a fuck you, no entry type of pattern. And, you know, I'm going to be honest. Maybe you'll call me retarded in this process, but the fuck you, no entry pattern is relatively difficult to trade because it's really uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. It goes up only, and you're kind of forced to disregard risk management, like proper risk management rules. Like you're just like top blasting and firing. And in a way, like dumb money gets rewarded for the fuck you, no entry pattern. But it's very exciting when dumb money gets rewarded because more often than not, like the story I told you from the beginning of the stream of my friend, is when dumb money makes a lot of money in markets, they just put it right back in, obviously. Like if you ran 10K to 100K slamming SanDisk options, what are you going to do with the 100K? More often than not, you're just putting it back into the market every single time without failure. And so part of me, Like, look, at this stage, I don't even know what to think about the market, where we go from here. It kind of feels like we're going to just go up only during Trump admin for the next 2 years. I am not particularly positioned well for this. In a way, it's been like a double-edged sword, my Zcash trade, because I hyper focused on one trade, one asset early in this, early 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And it's performed super well, but I've been so laser focused on this one little crevice that I've kind of faded everything else. And this is traded very well, but everything else is traded very well as well. And so I have no high time frame conviction on stocks. I don't really think anybody does at this stage. It's hard to either direction. But something that does feel like has happened is that the retail cohort has made a lot of money. The close your eyes retail slam cohort has made a lot of money. You know that money is coming back into the market, and it probably is going to make for some very silly pumps in riskier assets as time goes on here. It really, in a way, like, again, I don't know how it comes back. I feel like I sound ridiculous saying it comes back to crypto, but it really feels like at a couple spots it is going to. You just get riskier and riskier. I look at the Serenity stocks as a proxy for it every single time. So I have a Michael Burry article. He posts basically every day. I have 2 articles I want to read. One is Burry, and then the other one is this. I want to read that cyclical. Link me that DNAP if you can find it. I don't think I have it actually. I'll read that after. The memory thesis. I just want to skim this. Michael Burry. He kind of posts, he posts a article basically every day about his positioning. And I go back and forth on them because part of me appreciates his writing, right? Like, there's not that many people that are publicly publishing the trades, are publicly talking about what they're in, what they're fading, what they like, what they're buying, what they're selling. But then I read this post the other day about Michael Burry, and they were basically, I don't know if they were giving him respect or they were calling him out, but they basically were saying that it's disingenuous what he's doing because he's trading these positions with 1% of his fund and just farming Substack subscriptions, which is probably true. Doodle research, thanks for the thought gifted. It's probably true, but at the very least, whether you use him as real signal, counter signal, somewhere in between, I am grateful that he publishes. It is the crypto way. And also, yeah, if you're a bull, you don't have a trade without bears. So let's skim this and see where we're at. Also, DNAP, send me that cyclical little memory piece. The boy who cried wolf, so many times, no wolf. In the end, what happened? There was a wolf, but nobody was listening. I am now a meme for the number of times I have called a crash. At least he knows it, right? Burry successfully called 1,000 out of the last 2 crashes. I've now become the boy who cried wolf. History is written not by the victors, but by those that control the pen. And social media has that pen right now, it seems. Still, I got it right in 2000, got it right in 2007, got it right in 2019, helped by COVID. And I called the meme stock crash in mid-21. I called the bank stock run in 23. And in 2017, I had trouble finding good stocks, and I discussed the passive investing bubble for the first time. I did not say it meant that we would crash anytime soon. My case was that crashes would become much more correlated and more acute. And 2020's COVID crash was the most acute, correlated stock market crash in history. Every other time I supposedly called a crash, I had said nothing at all. Here it is. Thank you. Or read this one after. It was reported that I had a $1 billion short position several times over a decade, not because I said anything, but because reporters misread regulatory filings. Then all the news services would trot out the same picture of me, Burry calling for a crash in so many words that I did not say. For a number of years, I marveled at the resiliency of the market, for sure. But I have been long common stocks as the majority of my portfolio for almost my whole investment career. The exception being that one big short in 2005 to 2008. Today, however, I am calling something. The market has jumped the shark. The end of this is, what does this mean, jump shark?
There he goes!
Yeah, that's that boomerang reference. Michael Burry is the one jumping the shark, some will say. I write the following knowing that full well. Thusly, therefore, and nevertheless, with what is happening in the market, and last week I had lived this before, what's happening in the market the last week that I had lived this before suddenly dawned on me. The NASDAQ 100 complete reversal. And so he posts this chart, which is basically the dot-com boom. He says we're somewhere between the midway of 1999. He says we are either here, or here. Or the entire recovery from the 2000 crash just barely, to new highs, completely reversed. You are here, or you are here. Or the roaring 20s, more than completely and totally reversed. You are here, or you're here. Or the 1970s Middle East oil crisis, a complete market reversal on the second of 3 inflationary waves. You are here, or you are here. Or the NASDAQ 100 today, too good, too lucky, for too long, and now too real to be real. You are here. This past week, the Philadelphia semiconductor index had a new high in near vertical fashion. Yellow is us today. Yellow. White is the run up to the market peak in 2000. Not quite, right? Even if it seems there is more time to run up, anyone lucky enough to be riding these parabolic moves by not selling is betting on one's own ability to jump off at or near the top. As mentioned late last week, I was living through spring of 2000 again. As a fundamentals-based investor, I had been punch drunk, and that swimming feeling was back. The moves in stocks and in Intel in the major indices, the increasing number of great companies away from the AI narrative that are falling 20 to 30% on small earnings misses. I know that feeling. I knew that feeling. It was in 2000 that I made probably the biggest call of my life. I left medicine after my 3rd year of residency at Stanford because I was so convinced the bubble was popping. I was also so convinced it was a historic time to buy extremely cheap stocks that had been completely ignored by the bull run. It was my time to start my version of the Buffett partnership. I initially called it the Burry partnership, but it did not like the ring of that. More people should know their names are not amendable to being a business name. So Scion Capital it was. I had never taken an accounting class, but I was so completely convinced. I was nearly $200,000 in debt from medical school, but yes, I was so completely convinced. The bubble was there. It was going to break bad. The cheap stocks were there, and they were going to do well. I just knew it. So this is all so familiar and in a very specific way. Back then, nearing the late stages of the tech, media, telecom, TMT bubble, the predominant technology stock narrative had run many companies up very high for many years. But the narrative had somehow skipped over the component makers, the DRAM companies, the semiconductor equipment manufacturers, and others that should have been benefiting from the bubble. But in the very last stage of the bubble, these companies were swept into the narrative and their stocks rocketed higher. Below, in the March 2000 top, Samsung Electronics, Applied Materials, and JSD Uniphase spring into the finish after being relatively ignored for much of the late 1990s. Chart pictured. Tea consumed. Today, those same three companies, including the successor to JDS Uniphase, Viavi Solutions, are behaving in a remarkably similar manner. Samsung Electronics, which was the number 2 position in my fund just a year ago, is up almost 4x in the last year. My only thought now, this weekend, today, is to let people know where we are. We are witnessing history in the stock market. That is not a good thing. In the next 2 days, I will release a valuation exercise that seems to suggest almost no tech stock, not even bombed out software stocks, are inexpensive when held to strict accounting standards, more strict and more forensic in nature than GAAP. Including all these adjustments, Wall Street may be overstating by more than 50% the earnings of our fastest growing, most highly valued companies. In addition, there are the future write-downs, such as NVIDIA's growing contracts with TSMC, securing over $100 billion of capacity at TSMC. Cisco in 2001 and 2002 wrote down years of its best earnings when it had to write off the same types of contracts with its suppliers. This, all of it, is the scene of a bloody car crash minutes before it happened. If one has been good, or if one has been lucky, if one happens to own some of these stocks that are mooning, or happen to have big gains in any number of high momentum stocks, now is the time to consider taking profits. It is the time to reject greed and a time to recognize what is happening now is very extreme, with historical precedents that are rather unfortunate. Shorting is not the answer. It is not something most people should ever do. Finally, a good take. Right now, it is expensive in general to buy put options, and directly shorting stocks can still cause significant pain. I am holding a significant leveraged short position against a portfolio of companies I find depressed and cheap, as I did in 2000. An easier way for most is to simply reduce exposure to stocks, to tech stocks in particular. For any stocks going parabolic, reduce positions almost entirely. Maybe replace beloved positions with some low cost, out of the money leap calls in case things continue. Basically, a long-winded way of saying Michael Burry is right here, right now, in public, officially calling the top. Now, the problem with his suggestion on the other side, if sell any stock that is parabolic, is how do you determine parabolic? Because if you look at some of these charts, like let's say Intel, this gap into earnings to me is pretty parabolic, right? I mean, I don't know. This move to me, close after earnings, after pulling a 2x in 30 days in an earnings crush, that feels like a pretty parabolic move to me. The problem with selling that is it then goes ahead and does this. It does it again. Right in your face. Nonstop. Right in your face. Nonstop. And then if you zoom out, let's go like this, put it on a weekly, if you will allow me, and you come here and you see the 10,000 day consolidation that Intel has just broken out of, you get a little bit of a weird feeling in your chest. You get a weird feeling in your chest of, am I the guy that's going to step in front of this? Short, hold it, balls on the table, and be right? Odds say no. This is what I always ask myself is like, I always say this is like, okay, there will be somebody. There will be a guy, a fund, an analyst, a young, hungry investor somewhere that gets the math right, times it correctly, top ticks the market, floods in shorts, and pulls the Big Short 2.0. But why would it be you? And why would you want it to be you, honestly? This is what I always think. Is it going to be you? Probably not. And why would you want it to be you? Why would you look at what happened to Michael Burry, man? Would you rather be Leopold Aschenbetter or Michael Burry? If you could pick one. Would you rather be Leopold Aschenbetter or Michael Burry? Because if you're the guy that makes your entire investing career as the guy who shorted the housing crisis, what are you going to spend the rest of your life trying to do? Probably short everything you feel like is a bubble. You're just like a perma-bear for the rest of your life. And I agree with Michael Burry that we're living in unprecedented times in the market. We are. We're living in unprecedented times with unprecedented moves. And which side of it do you want to be on? Really? Which side of it do you want to be on? I know which side I would rather be on. Also, DNAP, send me that tweet one more time, that cyclical tweet. I want to read it. I think it's like the antithesis to his thesis. I know what side I want to be on. I'm a longer cash trader. And you can say I have no skill, whatever. Say whatever you want to say. You will not see that threadguy hyperliquid account getting pinged for piling into NVIDIA shorts. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to be me. It will be somebody. It will be somebody. DNAP, read it or no? What's your motivation every day looking for something to research accessibility? I think it isn't worth it. What do you mean by that? Yeah, maybe it'll be Loracle. Yeah. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to read you an article that is on the tail flip of, I think it's tail flip of what we just read with Burry. And then Luke, David Hoffman is in the waiting room. I'm going to let him in. And in about 5 minutes, I'm going to bring the big Hoff on, the big Hoffman. Oh my God, I'm fucking down bad. I'm going to bring David Hoffman on. And we are going to have him on for 30-ish minutes. It's going to be fun. So, all right, I'm letting him in. Luke, tell him 5-10 minutes for me. Malcolm, if you had a tea, I would love it. All right, let's do it. All right. Quote, memory is cyclical. Everyone knows that, and the recent run-up in memory names is an obvious bubble. Alex Carino. That's the easy, reflexive view. But I think the people who hold it are missing the simple scale of what AI is doing to memory demand. The first clue that there might be more to the memory story came in January of this year, when it came out that NVIDIA's next-gen Rubin platform would require 16 terabytes of NAND per GPU, or 1152 terabytes per rack. And I don't know anything about memory compute demands. That required HBM bandwidth for the system that would be 70% higher than what had been previously reported. I don't understand terabytes, nanobytes, gigabytes. I do understand 70% higher than initially reported. This is the first time it became obvious to outside observers that memory would be needed to scale exponentially to keep up with already known GPU demand. One underappreciated fact is that while GPU compute has been largely scaled with Moore's law, as we know, doubling in compute every 2 years, memory density and speed hasn't. As GPU compute continues to scale, existing memory manufacturers must produce exponentially more chips. These chips will also need to be faster than ever, which introduces an incredible technical challenge. How can memory manufacturers find the required speed improvements that have eluded them for decades. Luke, tell them less than 10 minutes. When you combine this added technical complexity with an exponentially expanding demand for the product, memory starts to look less like the commodity everyone knows it to be and much more like a high-margin proprietary chip. This hasn't even touched on memory's role in inference. Compute needed for inference is expanding exponentially as well and is highly memory dependent, long context, etc. Also, agentic AI requires agents to pull massive amounts of data into their context, which increases the number of tokens per turn and also the amount of memory required to run them. True agentic systems will require both dramatically higher context. This is very true. We know this. Anyone ever try to use OpenClaw, let alone like deep thinking mode? And also many more turns or iterations of each task. Longer context, more memory per workload, and more turns, more workload per output. To put a specific number on that, Micron SVP Jeremy Werner said reality on the circuit that agentic AI is causing context length to grow 30x a year. That is insane. 30x a year. Michael Dell recently framed the problem in extremely simple terms. H100 had 80 gigabytes of HBM. By 2028, accelerators could carry 2 terabytes. That is 25x more memory per accelerator. Over the same period, he expects roughly 25x more accelerators deployed. That's 25x 25 equals 625x more accelerator memory demand by 2028. Everyone knows memory stocks are cyclical, and they always look cheap right before the bubble bursts. But what if there are structural changes happening in the memory markets that could prove the consensus wrong? Does anyone remember another traditionally cyclical company that has re-rated to a growth story due to the demand from AI? Hint, it's now the most valuable company in the world. Reminder, what if the memory demand is infinite and we just continue? Alex Carino, the counter thesis to Michael Burry, the big bear. And to you, I ask, which way, Western man? Which way? Is it a bubble? Maybe. Does it pop? Does it keep going? Is this time different? Is this time the same? I don't really know, but what I do know is that I'm having a lot of fun covering it. I'm having a lot of fun covering it. A lot of fun. A lot of fun covering it. Now, on that note, it's time to talk about some crypto. It is time, my friends, once again to talk about crypto. We have David Hoffman coming on the stream from Bankless right now, who infamously, just a couple days ago, sold a CryptoPunk, his PFP that he's done for a long time, for 65 Ether to twop it into Zcash, followed up by an article of why I twopped Zcash. So I'm excited. He's coming on really quickly. I'm going to get up. I'm going to get my other tea. I apologize once again for actually, I don't apologize for shit. I'm fucking sick as hell and I'm here running the stream. I don't apologize for a fucking thing. My voice sounds like shit and that's what it's going to sound like for the rest of the week. I'm going to get my tea. I'm doing a waiting screen with no music because he's in the waiting room and I'll be back in like 30 seconds. BRB! All right. Y'all ready? Are you all ready? Let me know if you have any questions for him, by the way. All right, let's fucking go. David Hoffman. I'm bringing him on right now. Oh, mint tea is one of the greatest inventions in the history of the world. Mint tea. Whoever invented it, I owe you my absolute ever loving life. All right, let's get him. Let's get him in here. One second, sir. Let me flip you around, and boom, David Hoffman, part 2. Trustless Day, back on the stream. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you, my man?
I'm awesome, dude. I apologize for my my voice. It was it's struggling, but we got the tea out.
It happens.
How you been, man? It's been a while.
Good. It kind of feels like there are at least some tokens that are alive, which is exciting. It feels like now. It does not feel like 2 weeks ago. Something happened between 2 weeks ago and now.
And what I can't figure out is if it is notable in crypto vibe shift, times are changing, or if we're just being dragged up as little as possible by the rest of the market, stock market in particular, just re-rating higher and higher and higher.
Well, Bitcoin's definitely being dragged up because the correlation to QQQ is at all-time highs. Like, we just know that for a fact. So to some degree, yeah, like Bitcoin is kind of getting cucked by the S&P and QQQ, but then there are some like idiosyncratic tokens which are pumping, which I don't know. I feel like some people are saying this is what it would be like in the calm before a storm.
I will say at the very least, I agree with you on a couple select alts. There's a couple spots which we're going to talk about. Zcash, obviously, we're talking about VVV. We're going to talk about some of these coins that are getting flows. They do appear to be notable. And at the very least, it's a breath of fresh air. Like, okay, someone in crypto is getting rewarded. You guys had Michael Saylor on recently. Congrats. Really sick episode. I actually wasn't going to start with this, but I am curious, especially as a current or former, somewhere between ETH maxi. Where are you on Stretch MSTR drama as it currently stands?
Yeah, the way we think at Bankless is we kind of think in content threads, and one thread that we want to pull on every now and then, just kind of check in on it, is Michael Saylor walking the tightrope between, is strategy a Ponzi, or is he just doing a good sophisticated arbitrage between time frame investors? And really what side he's on is going to be determined by how much risk he takes.
Yes.
And so that's the theme. And then Stretch, it's a good product so long as he can manage risk. And
are you a holder of Stretch?
Yeah, like a very marginal amount.
Really?
Just because, it's like, I think of like $500 of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like very minimal, yeah.
Yeah. Like a non-zero amount is the way to describe that. But like, I can see myself owning more. And it's like, I really liked the thesis that he presented. It's just like, Bitcoin is the collateral for this new like banking product where you are paid the interest rates, the yields that you ought to be paid that your banks aren't paying you. And so as like a new like neobank with a different denominator that is paying people yield in a fundamentally more true way, I like it. He just has to manage the risk. And I think when he goes and says like, I will sell Bitcoin to fund the dividends, that's an example of him committing to appropriately risk manage. So yeah, I'm a fan.
There's also an argument to be had there that Bitcoin for the first time in I don't know how long moves up or at least stays flat on what I would consider bad news, which is something we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. You're talking about like the Iran war and
the Iran war, but also Saylor talking about selling Bitcoin. At least in my bubble. Maybe I'm just a little
I don't
bit
think
fried.
Saylor selling Bitcoin is bearish. I think it's bullish. I think more net Bitcoin will be bought by Saylor the more he can imbue Stretch with more confidence.
How was he to interview? Like, what's
Dude,
the
he's so
vibe you
hard to
get from
interview.
him when
he's so hard. He's one of these guys that you just can't interrupt. And I talked to our buddy Alex Thorne from Galaxy because he interviewed Taylor. He went to his home and like he just gave us some advice. He's like, dude, he's just gonna steamroll you as an interviewer. Like you're gonna get. We got like a total of 5 questions in. And towards the end, I had to get like more on the edge of my seat and get more aggressive and like frankly rude about injecting what I wanted to say so he would like wrap it up. Like I wanted to play the wrap it up music at the Golden Globes or whatever they do. I think we got like a total of 5 or 6 questions and that was it.
Over what, an hour and a half?
I was like an hour and 40 minutes, dude. It's really long.
Wow. Congrats on the interview. I mostly just saw clips. We watched some clips on the stream. There were some good ones. Yeah. But yeah, TBD how the situation plays out. But what I'm most excited about right now are a few of these alts outperforming. In particular, Zcash is one of my favorite. It was one of my best trades at 25.
Congrats. You still have that trade open?
I've sort of found myself back in it in this year, a couple weeks ago, and it's turned into kind of a monster. You sent me a cool DM, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it is a really fun one. And you found yourself in the Zcash discussion with a CryptoPunk sale followed by a Zcash article. So what was that? You sold the punk to buy Zcash? Like, give me the rundown.
Yeah, those are 2 things that kind of had been happening separately that just decided to converge at the same time. Just like CryptoPunk proxy for ETH, ETH momentum, ETH motion is elsewhere. It's just elsewhere right now. Like the investment case for Bitcoin is that Michael Saylor is going to buy a ton of it. The investment case for ETH is that Tom Lee's going to buy a ton of it. Which is like cool. That's kind of like growing up, I guess, in a sense. It's like the institutionalization of both of them. But like the investment case for Zcash, there was like so much substance there. I can't write an article about the investment case for ETH because Tom Lee's buying it. It's like, who cares? Like that's a tweet, not an article. The investment case for Zcash is like robust and thorough. And like first, like we're all in crypto Twitter, we're all investors, but I'm first and foremost like a content producer. I love telling stories. The Zcash story is a really good story, and I'm compelled by the story. And so there's just like story investor resonance in Zcash, and so like me and a bunch of other people just feel compelled about that. And so that's what really compelled me to write the article. Was it a big deal for you to sell a punk? Like what you held? It took a loss on it for sure, right? Yeah, I bought it 2021. I bought it for 69 ETH and then sold it for 62 ETH. But then the ETH was a much higher price at the time that I bought it. So yeah, a dollar denominated loss and then like a marginal ETH denominated loss. And so you were thinking of the punk as just strictly a prox, like leveraged ETH beta, basically. Yeah, like I always kind of said that punks are like exposure to how cool Ethereum is. Like if Ethereum is cool, then punks will have an ETH denominated premium. If Ethereum is less cool, then punks will lose that premium. That's a fun take. Have you given up on ETH being cool? I don't see ETH not being cool in the short term. No. I think like a lot of my frustrations come with like the ETH leadership. Like something I tweeted out before I wrote that article was like, the cool thing about Zuko is that he's like bullish on Zcash and like wants it to go up in price, and he's explicit about that. And to me, that was just like refreshing. I saved that for the stream doc. I don't know if I made it. I actually liked that tweet of yours, which was like, Dev cares about price. What is your thinking on that? Like, I guess it's a complete 180 from Vitalik and the Ethereum Foundation caring about price. Yeah, that's basically it. And like, I don't want to like talk negatively about Vitalik or the EF Foundation, but it's just like they have diverging goals. Like, I think Vitalik really wants Ethereum to be like a check on the powers that be, especially the future unknown powers that be that we can't really imagine. And a lot of, in my opinion, like what I'm here to do and what many others in Ethereum are here to do is for like Ethereum to not be a check on power, but to be the power itself. And that as an investment case, it's much more salient when Ethereum is the institution rather than being a check on institutions. And, you know, Ethereum is consistently being positioned as like a check on institutions, which doesn't really have a strong investment case. You know, it's actually a fun take. I've never really thought about it this way, but indirectly, I obviously do, which is like Hyperliquid Jeff obviously cares about the price amongst all else, right? They take all of the revenue, basically twop the token back. Like Pump hasn't done well, but Elon,
obviously cares about the pump fund price. Like there seems to be like a theme there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these are all different people and like different cultures and vibes, but having some sort of notion of just like, it's not even about, I don't want Vitalik to turn Ethereum into a ETH TWAPing protocol, even though it kind of does do that with the burn, but just like a notion that like growth and, Ethereum is an economic system that if it grows, that's good for Ethereum. And Ethereum has certain goals, cypherpunk values, decentralization, all these things. Those goals are better achieved with a higher ETH price, which doesn't really seem to be like inside of like ETH leadership culture. It's just only in the community, and the community is only so powerful.
It's a good take. You're like 2017 crypto, right? Maybe pre.
That's right. Yeah.
Why is like, it was funny when Zcash first started pumping, it was so at 25, it was so hated because everyone was like, what the fuck is Zcash? What the fuck are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Why was Zcash so cocked by like the OG crowd?
Yeah, I remember in the early Ethereum days, there was a big conversation about block rewards, dev block rewards. And there was a big fight in Ethereum. Like Kevin Owocki was on one side of this fight where he wanted to like, hey, we could like fund for Ethereum fund the dev teams by taking 10% of the block rewards, and then we can just fund them. And then like me and like Ryan, my co-host, and a bunch of other people were like, no, ETH is money. It needs to be politically neutral. Don't do that. And Zcash kind of embodied just like a bunch of things that Ethereum disagreed with, like proof of work, a block reward dev fund. And it looked like a sandbox for cryptographers to tinker with their cryptography much more than it was like, like a money or anything like that. But like, as it's gone on, like that was the age back then. And then like the 5 years of irrelevancy is actually kind of like turning into an asset for it, because like now it's just like everyone's stoked about Zcash because it's PVE, and one of the reasons why it's PVE is because like no one believed in it until now.
Thanks for the lore. I was kind of fired up to see you buy it, by the way, because I was like, all right.
I haven't bought it quite yet. I took a little bit of dust and I just like 10x longed at the very top, just as like kind of
that's awesome
as a hedge. But like my actual capital, I'm yet to deploy.
So what's your thought process on like how and when to do that? Like, how do you think about these trades?
Oh, dude, I'm not a trader. I'll just start TWAPing in tonight whenever I get my money unfrozen from Coinbase.
Oh yeah, what happened with that, by the way?
Yeah, you send money outbound of Coinbase, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna hold this for 72 hours and just verify.
It's bankless, man.
You've never had that happen to you?
No, because the coins are the worst. It's brutal.
I went into Kane's DMs and be like, dude, I would use Infinex so much more if they had an on ramp.
Yeah, facts. Anything. Coinbase is tough, but we're sort of like forced into using it.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, buy it, not buy it. To see you write the article, it kind of fired me up because, like one of the bull cases I like for crypto is that even if no new inflows, like no meaningful inflows came into crypto, there could be this mass re-rating of the top 100, which is that most of the, if you ever, I mean, I'm sure you do it, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, whatever, top 100 is like brutal what is in that list, right? It's like,
it's always been that way.
It's horrifying what's in that list. And there's enough money in that list where you could just flow bad coins to good coins and make some very meaningful pumps. And to see like someone like you post the Zcash thesis is, I'm like, okay, there's some of these not super trader short time frame like thinkers in crypto. It basically scratches the itch of a new level of capital, I think, in crypto, which is very interesting about the Zcash thesis. Like, what sort of got you fired up enough to write an article, publish it about it? 'Cause I don't see you doing that about that many tokens.
Yeah. I write articles when I see an opportunity in like the content market, where I was looking around for who wrote the Zcash thesis, and it was fragmented. Like Mert had some good tweets, Ansem had some good tweets. No one really all had it all in one place. And so like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like my attempt was like, okay, let me collect all of these very good theses and put them into one article, where if somebody wants to just like get downloaded on Zcash quickly, they can just read this one article. That was the goal of it. And that's like kind of, I frequently do stuff like this where I kind of just see it as like a service to other people who are trying to get a grasp on things. And so that was really the motivation. To your point about like old coins or just like coins getting re-rated. we're in the middle of scheduling, like working on it. Mert is all the way around the world in Japan, and so schedule is a little difficult. But just like Mert and Tushar to come on the show to talk about Zcash. And like, I don't know if there's anything more PvE emblematic of like Mert from Solana and Tushar from Multicoin coming on Bankless to talk about Zcash. Like, it's the ultimate like middle ground for like all things in history to just be ignored. And so I like, as just an illustrative example, is just like, yeah, I've never seen. I really get motivated when like a bunch of the crypto community all agrees about the same thing. Yeah. And like, it's like, oh yeah, no, we are actually like, as a community, as a cult, whatever, we're all here. And it's kind of just like heartwarming when we have an opportunity to do that together. And I think what everyone sees is like, oh yeah, okay, so there's the argument that like, this is just crypto Twitter hot money sloshing around. And this is all we can do because we're all broke. And so we can only pump it to this high. But like, everyone's kind of positioning for like, actually, no, we're going to hand this off to Bitwise and to Grayscale, and like they're going to sell it to boomers' retirement portfolios, and like we're all in this trade together. I think that's fun, and I want to be a part of that.
I'm excited to listen to that. Also, quick call out, Roaring Kitty, I think is hacked, just tweeted a CA. It's only at like,
Roaring Kitty?
Yeah, the chat is tiny. He just tweeted a CA, a Solana coin. I don't know, it's at like 2 mil. It looks like a farm. It's on so much volume, and the market cap is so low, it looks like a farm. So just calling it out to the chat. What was your take on Mert and like a lot of these Giga Solana bulls going so hard for another token? Like, do you I don't know, like, yeah, what do you think? I think
it was a very smart choice by Mert. I really want to know how and like what motivated Mert to find Solana or find Zcash so cheap and so ahead of the curve, because it wasn't on my radar, obviously. Yes. It makes sense. Like, I don't know where Solana is. I think Solana has experienced all in the same way that just like ETH is kind of getting priced against Bitcoin. I think Solana is getting priced against ETH and Bitcoin respectively. And so like, protocol wars seemed kind of over to me. Like Solana price is what it is. ETH price versus Bitcoin is what it is. These things are kind of like where they've landed. And so from just like a social media strategy, Mert like hopping on to, not to say he's hopped off the Solana train, but he's definitely hopped on to the Zcash train. And it's like a trade of cult of personality. It's like, he wants to grow his cult of personality. He's hopping on the Zcash train when this opportunity to do so. It's like a good move.
Someone has been here like 2017 crowd. What do you think of the Monero versus Zcash debate? Like, did you consider a Monero article as well?
I'll write any article that has like good enough substance to it. As far as the debate, as I understand it, is which token is going to go up in price more. And Monero, when it gets delisted from exchanges and it's like criminal coin and institutions can't touch it, versus the Zcash thesis, as I understand it, is that the crypto community pumps this thing up, all gets around it, and then, Bitwise and other asset managers sell it to boomers. That can't happen with Monero. And so like, sure, I, in the same way that like Monero, I think does represent a check on power because it is true privacy. I mean, maybe it's weaker privacy. I'm sure there's some cryptography people who would like to argue the merits of the privacy, but I'll give Monero its like purity points where it's like, yeah, it's true privacy, completely cypherpunk. But it's a check on power rather than like be powerful itself, kind of in the same way like my frustrations are with Ethereum. And so, Zcash is like a handshake with the powers that be is the upside. And so, is there a debate? No, there's just like, they're in the same category and one's doing more than the other.
It's crazy that, people always do the argument, like my drug dealers never accepted Zcash. Monero being so private and difficult to transact has made it like impossible to buy.
Yeah.
I think it's like, this is a serious, because I like Monero. I like the vibe. I like the word, the way it sounds, like the people that chill it. Like, it just like sounds right. And it's so difficult to trade it. I think that someone put up some pair on Hyperliquid at one point. I don't know exactly how that's played out, but it's gotten so difficult to trade that I think it actually keeps a lot of people away from it because they don't know what they don't know what to make of it.
Right. Yeah. It's been interesting to see the Zcash conversation be centered around money. Like Zcash is encrypted Bitcoin is private money. money needs liquidity. Like it's great that Monero's literally better at privacy, but you need the moneyness.
You need the moneyness. It's a good take. On a complete side note, just while I have you here, what do you make of DeFi, ETH DeFi, but DeFi in particular? Like, you are one half of Bankless,
Right?
and
Yeah,
it's a
DeFi's hard right now.
unbelievable spot.
DeFi's super hard
to be pro DeFi. Like, do you have some level of existential dread about the state of DeFi right now?
I mean, I don't feel like I have existential dread, but I get the argument for why somebody would have existential dread. There needs to be I think some platforms are well positioned. Like Morpho is literally positioned to answer exactly why and how Aave got hacked. At the end of the day, it's bad enough, even outside of the Aave hack, with AI and all the other hacks, the vibe and security is bad enough. Everyone is saying this. It's just Kane Warwick said this on his podcast. I don't feel secure holding my assets on DeFi. And it's again, we're talking about money. It's finance and money. DeFi needs to be completely rebuilt. Do you know Odysseus from Phalanx Labs?
No, what is that? Maybe. What is that?
It's this crypto security protocol that is now getting extra attention because he built his platform, his security platform, to account for stuff like this. And so he wrote this article that DeFi needs to be rebuilt from an aeronautics industry perspective, where on an airplane or a spaceship, rocket, whatever. So many things are redundant because the components are expected to fail, and DeFi is not wired like that. With the Kelp Layer 0 Aave setup, you just needed one thing to fail, and it all kind of fell.
Yes.
Aave needed to assumed that Kelp DAO was going to fail at some point in time and needed to have been constructed as such. Layer 0 needed to have assumed that one of its components was going to break and need to be constructed as such. So DeFi needs a complete rewrite of how it is built, which it also needs a complete rewrite because everything needs to be rewritten in a post-Mythos era, and also everything needs to be rewritten to be formally verified. So there's just a ton of work to be done. The DeFi concept and idea is still out there, but now we kind of need to rebuild everything, and it'll be better. It's just going to take a while and be very hard to get there.
I had Robert Leshner on the other week, which was you guys should do another Leshner episode. It was fire, and his take was that Mythos is really scary for DeFi, but it also just as easily as it can compromise existing infrastructure, it can build a better foundation for future infrastructure that doesn't exist yet. And so that I think is optimistic, because I find myself I was in a discussion with this guy Darren on Twitter. I think is really smart, and we're going back and forth. And I am of the understanding that we could see this, concentrated flows into 5 coins, maybe VVV, TON, fuck it, Zcash, couple alts do very well. But he was asking about DeFi, and I'm like, I'm kind of a giga bear on DeFi right now, and he's like, well, that's gonna make it very difficult to see flows go into other coins if DeFi ceases to exist. And so I'm not of the nature that's going to cease to exist, but it would be nice if that Kelp Layer 0 situation could have been sort of a local bottom.
Yeah, I don't know. The assets that are moving right now don't have any dependencies. I'm not an expert on Hyperliquid architecture, but Hyperliquid is just its own thing. They kind of control that thing end to end. Venice, well, that's a AI tech platform. It's got a pseudo equity token on base, but the token doesn't have any dependencies. Zcash is like a money. It's 0 dependencies. That's kind of its whole deal. So all the tokens that are running right now they don't have the daisy chained risk contagion exposure that all the DeFi tokens do.
Which is nice. Can I ask you a side question?
Sure.
How is the Bankless operation right now? How is it running, and how big are you guys? Because it's honestly, especially now, I know how much work goes into this. It's really impressive how you guys are churning the way that you are still.
Yeah, so there's the broader Bankless umbrella, which has a couple other smaller media arms under it. And so we have the TDR, the DeFi report, which is kind of our research arm. You know how Delphi Research has a Galaxy Research. We have this guy, Michael Nadeau, him and Ryan do the DeFi report, and they do 2 episodes a week, some for Bankless Premium subscribers, some for the public. And so that's like our premium research content. We have Limitless, which is Jaws and Josh.
Which is crushing, by the way.
Yeah, crushing.
Like really crushing.
Yeah, they're killing it. And so that's like our AI media arm. Then we have Bankless, which is crypto, obviously. And then we have like our newsletter team. So everyone is like kind of creator first. And then we have like all the operations people to support all of that. And so some, like COO and graphic designer and website guy. And so that's everyone. The thing that like has really changed up in like the last like 2 weeks is like Ryan and I have our Claudes ready to go. So like when I bring on a guest, I do like a / command / guest prep. I give the guest name, who they're from, and like a little bit, and then they just collect all of everything that they've ever produced. It gives me a Grok prompt to go to Grok, 20 most viral tweets, exclude all replies, all this kind of stuff to get like a snapshot of what they've said on Twitter. I'll go in and I'll use Obsidian to go snip things on the internet that are relevant and feed that data in. And then it kind of like, it just rolls agenda for me. And so the guest preparation and then also guest selection. Guest selection, because like we really want to explore outside of crypto. We always have, but we also don't know who's out there. And so I'll kind of show or tell Claude about this concept of a podcast that I want to produce. Like, here's the subject matter. Give me the top 5 people to comment on these things. And like, they're usually names I'm just not familiar with. And then I go to YouTube and I check how well they can talk and if they have anything interesting to say. And then I invite them on the show.
You had Rory on, which was awesome.
Rory,
he rocks. I fucking love that guy.
Rory, he was such a friendly guy.
He's so good. That guy rocks. What is just got like genuinely curious. What do you think is the best business decision you guys ever made at Bankless?
Best business, honestly, talking about ETH was the best business decision. Because like we penetrated a community and like we told the story that like everyone like kind of felt, but like no one had really articulated it. And so that's where we kind of like rose. And then like in sponsorship land, we have like a like 2 kind of philosophies on sponsors. You have like, you lock in a long-term sponsor for a year. So yours are like Polymarket and Phantom. And then you lock them in at a stable price. We love the sponsors. And then those kind of like pay for the foundation. And then you have short-term sponsors that like refresh, churn over a little bit faster. That you also have like and because they're shorter, you can pay them or charge them a higher rate. And that's where you get the profit from. And so when we came up with this like kind of philosophy of sponsorships in post FTX crash, because all marketing budgets dried up to zero. Yeah. And so we're like, oh, we need to pay attention to this. And so that's when we like made a more intimate deal with like Kraken for 2023 and like a few others to move on. And so like having like a foundation sponsors and then churning higher level sponsors, that's been like a model that's been worked out for us.
That was a super based answer. He's talking about ETH. David, you rock, man. I really appreciate you coming on. It's fun to hear you talk about Zcash. I was fired up to see you write the article. Not so I didn't care that you like I didn't have a directional take on selling the punk, but it was like provocative to see you sell the punk.
I just had this punk for forever. It's like, man, there's a lot of capital locked up in that. It's not
really
it's a
lot of capital.
Much. Yeah.
I like content, so it's provocative. That fired me up. And
the Punk's Discord was.
I appreciate you coming on.
About it.
Give us on a way out. Give us some crypto optimism if you have any to share on what the next 6 months or year or so looks like. You think?
Yeah, there's just like just an inevitable conclusion to crypto, and especially with the rise of AI and how fast things can move. The only form factor of capital markets that can keep up with the rate of innovation is crypto. I think internet capital markets as like a thesis, which like everyone kind of has their own interpretation of what that is, will make a comeback. Yes. If there's going to be, if AI is going to like completely invert what labor looks like and everyone becomes an entrepreneur, the capital markets just have to be on the internet, because if we have 10 million entrepreneurs, none of them are going public. They're all going to go do stuff on the internet. And that's where we live.
I fucking love it. David Hoffman, Bankless. Everyone knows where to find you. I'm looking forward to the Mert episode. When is it?
We're trying, like, Mert's running around the world, so we're trying to pin him down to record, but hopefully it'll come out next Monday if we can.
Pin that motherfucker down. I'm looking forward to it, man. You're awesome, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time. Love part 2. Maybe part 3 when you eat ATH. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe next year.
Have a good one. Peace. Shout out to David Hoffman. All right, we got a fucking what's going on. Rowan Kitty, what do we think? It's got to be a farm. I mean, I'm like, I can't. It's hard to focus. Got to be farming, huh? Let's see. It's got to be a farm. There's just no way. Let's do some DD. He's just not tweeting this. No, it's got to be. It's got to be. Yeah, he's got to be hacked. Obviously. Crazy though that it's this high. Like low-key impressive it's this high. I'm actually impressed. No. If he was Rowing Kitty coin, bro, come on. If he was if it was real, I feel like this is going way higher. Let's see, top traders. P&Ls are gross. Also, it's on 3 times the volume to market cap. Sus. 100K, 70, 50, 50, 50, 40, 40, 40, 30. It's a weird one. I don't know. The chart looks nuts, though. It's a weird one. Look at show GME chart. Ugh. I don't like how this looks at all. So GME chart. GME. Oh. Wow, he has that much motion. Wow. I don't know what to do in a spot like this. Wow. If it's real, bro, what do we... Whoa, my God. This is how he felt during Trump. I think it's real, dog. I mean, hold on. Let's actually, like, take a look real quick. I don't think it's real, but... He's never typed a word before, bro. Bro, he went to fucking testified in front of the Supreme Court about GME. He testified in front of the Supreme Court about GME. In front of Congress. He's in front of Congress, excuse me. He's tweeting a CA. I don't know. I don't buy it. Want to bet? Yeah, what's the bet?
Thank you.
I don't
Chairman
know. It's a
Waters,
crazy spot.
Ranking Member McHenry, members of the committee. I'm happy to discuss with the committee my purchases of GameStop shares and my discussions of their fair value on social media.
10-1.
It is
The
true
fuck am I taking that bet for?
that my
I'll
investment
just bid the coin.
in that company multiplied in value many times. For that, I feel enormously fortunate. I also believe the current price of the shares
Holy
demonstrates that
fuck!
I've been right about the company.
This is insane. I don't
Two
know.
things I am not.
I don't know.
I'm not a cat.
I know nothing. I have no edge on this at all. I have nothing. I could just do my best to try to get you info. It feels like a farm. It feels hacked. 14 mil volume. Wait, double the volume market cap. It feels like a hack, but it's a 10
I'm
mil.
not an institutional investor, nor am I a hedge fund. I do not have clients, and I do not provide
It has
personalized
to be a
investment
hack.
advice for fees or commissions. I'm just an individual whose investment in GameStop and posts on social media were based upon my own research and analysis. I grew up in Brockton, Massachusetts. My family was not wealthy. My father was a truck driver, and my mom a registered nurse.
Hold on. I gotta get up real quick
I was
for my
one of
tea. I'll
3
be back.
kids and the first in my family to earn a 4-year college degree when I graduated from Stonehill College in 2009. That was not a good time to be looking for a job. From 2010 to 2017, I worked at a few startup companies, but there were significant periods when I was unemployed. I took an interest in the stock market, and even though I had very little money, I used those times to educate myself and learn more about investing. 2019, after nearly 2 years unemployed, I accepted a marketing and financial education job at MassMutual. My wife Caroline and I were thrilled that I had an income and benefits. My job was to help develop financial education classes that advisors could present to prospective clients. I was not a stockbroker or a financial advisor. I did not talk to clients, and I did not recommend stocks for them to buy. Before and after I joined MassMutual, I studied and followed stocks. One of those was GameStop. In early June of 2019, the price of GameStop stock declined below what I thought was its fair value. I invested in GameStop in 2019 and 2020 because, as I studied the company, I became more and more confident in my analysis. Two important factors.
What price would you bet with me? Dude, I just think it's fake. I don't know what to say. I think it's fake. No, I didn't clip.
Based
Stop.
entirely on publicly available information, gave me confidence that GameStop was undervalued.
I don't know. I think it's fake.
First, the market was
know what to
underestimating
say.
the prospects of GameStop's legacy business.
I'm like so
and
like
overestimating the
I don't want to
likelihood of
shake anyone out
bankruptcy.
though. So if it's
I
not,
grew up playing video games and shopping at GameStop, and I plan to continue shopping there. GameStop stores still provide
he's just
real
like
value
not
to
doing this,
consumers
bro.
and reliable
He's
revenue for
testifying in front of fucking Congress.
GameStop. Second, I believe that GameStop has the potential to reinvent itself as the ultimate destination for gamers within the rapidly growing $200 billion gaming industry. GameStop has a
Bro,
unique
come
opportunity
on.
to pivot
Stop.
toward a technology-driven business.
Come on. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. This shit is not real. Kevin Legend 14, his brother's live. Bro, this shit is fake as fuck. It's fake as fuck. It has to be. Yeah, dog. Come on, man. I mean, look. I can't victory lap anything. I'd move on. Thread guy. It's my whole feed, bro. What am I supposed to do? Let's go. I want to see his brother's Instagram. Kevin. Hold on, I just want to see his brother's. What's his brother's Instagram, real quick, and then we'll move on. Yeah, this thing's fake as actual shit. Yeah. GG's. The fact that this actually went to 12 mil is insane. Post deleted. GG. Bundle out. Farm out. GG's. That was nuts. The trenches are fucking hungry to bid stuff. W or a gamble, Michael? I mean, dude, it went to 12 mil. Like, do I really get to claim aura on that? I don't know. I was spamming it's a farm at 3 mil. It was an aura gamble, though. Oh my god, imagine it was real, like Trump coin. I'm screaming it's fake. Let's see top traders. Hey, Eli's, we still taking the bet? 35%? Oh my god, 35%? It's real? 35? Oh my god, 35% is real. You should be net worth swapping it. Not betting with me. 35% is real. That thing's going to hundreds of millions. Thread guy, you got to use Axiom Terminal. I know. I just don't trade on this desktop. I have used nothing on this desktop, so I'm just let's see top traders. Chat, if it was real, what do you think it goes to? Obviously fake one just went to 12. It goes to 100 in 1 minute, I think. I think it goes to 100 in 1 minute. Let's see. Top traders. 100, 85, 70, 60, 50, 50, 40, 30, 29, 25, 25, 25, 20, 20, 20, 15, 15, 15, 50, 50, 50. A lot of 15Ks. All the freshies made 500 to 600K. It's crazy. Check GMB now. Is it dumping? Oh my god. That's so ridiculous that happened. How did this move like that is nuts. It's crazy, like, It's crazy. Like Ryan Cohen knows about this. W Combs always saw 700K. W Combs in the chat. It's crazy. Ryan Cohen knows about this. 100,000%. He knows about this. He's probably like, what the fuck, man? 100,000% Ryan Cohen knows about this. Hackers moving equity markets? No, it's just Roaring Kitty's got Mosh. Real deal motion. I mean, that's like real. GameStop is a. Wow, GameStop's worth as much as Zcash. Like the same amount. Who's that bearish for? Wow, it's worth the same amount. 10B, 10B. Makes you think maybe Zeke's a little too expensive, or maybe GME's a little too cheap. Huh? How about it, Eli's? GME? You mean the company that's about to buy eBay? That was nuts. That was like exhilarating. I was trying to focus on David, and I'm like, fuck, I can't pay attention. All right. So I have some stuff for you guys. I want to learn about Cerebras is what I want to learn about. So craziest CA tweet was a 10 bill stock 50%. It did not move 15%. What are you talking about? 15%? No, 1.5, I think. 15%. Oh, yeah. Wow, never mind. My bad. I'm gonna have to buy Asteroid after that. My fault, twin. Wow, crazy. That was fun. Well, I don't know if fun is the word I would use for that, but that was exhilarating. Okay, so the Cerebras IPO is on Thursday. And it seems that this is going to be the start of the IPO roadshow. It's going to come first. And they have this thing. DNAP, what's the ticker? CRBS. They have it on HL. And it has been getting priced insane. And as it gets re-rated higher on HL, Cerebras is making the IPO more expensive. And they've upsized it to 4.8 billion after 20x demand. Cerebras filed to sell 30 million shares at $150 to $160 each, up from 28 million shares at $115 to $125. At the top of the new range, the AI chip maker would raise roughly 4.8 billion, compared with the 3.5 billion on the prior terms. Reuters says the IPO drew orders for more than 20x the shares available. The deal is set to price May 13th. Cerebras makes AI inference chips and lists Amazon and OpenAI among customers. This is the strongest public market demand signal yet for a pure AI chip IPO. It's a pretty crazy one. And this is definitely the start of the IPO roadshow. It's coming. You know, it was on SpaceX is coming. Anthropic is coming. OpenAI is coming. Everybody is coming. Nobody's here yet. And it's funny, like this came out in the trial, OpenAI x Elon, that Greg Brockman testifies he and Ilya calculated it would take over 15 years of standing computing progress to build AGI until they discovered Cerebras hardware could potentially get them there in 5 years. And they tried to buy it. So here's a video. Here's the Poly market on Cerebras IPO closing market cap. There's not a lot of volume. But after its first day of trading, saying 50 billion plus, seems that they didn't, the numbers aren't big enough here. It's crazy. I mean, that's 50 billion plus is nuts. And so all of my smart friends are talking about this. And I want to watch a short video on chat. Do you know what it is? Cerebras, do you want to watch the video explainer on what it is? I think this is a good video on like what it is and why we care. I think it's going to be helpful because it's going to happen on Thursday, and this is going to be everyone's talking about on Thursday is Cerebras. Let's watch it. Also, I get to fucking save my voice. All right, I'll put on 1.25. All right, let's do it.
And it's about the same size as the multi-million-dollar. This is a dinner plate, and it's about the same size as the multi-million-dollar AI chip made by Cerebras. Cerebras has just filed to go public as they race to deploy chips that can run AI 15 times faster than NVIDIA's. The only problem is their entire business depends on a $20 billion OpenAI contract, and their $35 billion valuation rumor is 50% higher than what VCs.
It's 50 now. Or Polymark is projecting 50 on first close.
Paid just 2 months ago. So is Cerebras the next NVIDIA or a wobbly Jenga block in OpenAI's supply chain? Today, I'm gonna help you understand Cerebras. So when this IPO comes up, you can decide whether or not you wanna be an owner in the business. Before we begin, remember that my videos are not financial advice. You must do your own research. And over 6,400 investors now subscribe to my Substack for world-class stock research. The Cerebras story starts in 2016 with a contrarian idea. CEO Andrew Feldman thought of AI as a communication problem instead of a math problem. Every time you split up an AI workload across thousands of GPUs, you're losing speed when you're trying to transfer data between all those different chips. So Cerebras set out to build something crazy, a single chip the size of a full silicon wafer. This wouldn't be a cluster of chips pretending to be one processor. It would be one massive processor, 58 times larger than NVIDIA's flagship GPU. Now the company is wild because every previous attempt at wafer-scale chips has failed. Cerebras spent a decade and billions figuring out how to make it work. OpenAI founder Sam Altman was an early investor, and in 2018, Elon Musk even tried to buy Cerebras so OpenAI could benefit from it, floating Tesla as the acquisition vehicle. When Cerebras' first chip shipped in 2020, the market barely noticed, but soon ChatGPT arrived. Coding agents, voice assistants, and mass LLM adoption were all choking on inference speed. Cerebras had spent 10 years building what AI needed to reach industrial scale, and now they're filing to go public. To understand why this IPO matters, we have to go look at NVIDIA and why it's worth $4 trillion. Every AI data center has to use thousands of NVIDIA GPUs, connected by networking switches, miles of cabling, and proprietary software called CUDA. When you ask ChatGPT a question, the model is split across hundreds of GPUs that constantly talk to each other. That's slow, it burns power, and the whole setup costs a fortune to build and run. Cerebras' argument is that if chips talking to each other is the problem, you shouldn't build more chips. Instead, you should just build one giant chip. The Cerebras wafer-scale engine packs 900,000 compute cores onto
Dude, I think it's fucking huge. That's a big-ass chip.
Single piece of silicon. Each one replaces between 32 and 64 NVIDIA GPUs. The sell is that you end up with fewer boxes, less networking, and dramatically lower.
How do you even cool it? I don't even know. What's the cooling stack for Cerebras?
Power consumption, and you can deliver workloads 15 times faster than leading GPU systems. Some customers have described the difference as going from dial-up internet to broadband. When you talk to an AI being run on Cerebras chips, it's so fast. From a high level, Cerebras is a bet on the next phase of AI. As we move.
Are we really saying that AI is going to run way faster? Like these are better. These are just the superior chips. Tulip King, can you weigh in here? Is he tweaking? Weigh in here, please. Fuck, I lost it.
From training-focused data centers to inference. Training happens when a lab builds a new model every few months or years.
This is kind of legit. So this is like. So why is it? Are they a fob? Fab? Excuse me. Are they a fab or no? Do we know? No, right? No. But they have the design. The design is what's proprietary, yeah? They're fabulous. Brutal. It's like being holeless.
Inference happens every single time me or you uses an AI model. Cerebras is built to dominate when AI models are good and they need to be rolled out to a lot of people and deliver a lot of usage. Now, Cerebras' S1 filing gives away the financials. Now, before we dive into the financials, I want to remind you guys that 2026 is going to be the year of the super IPO. We've got SpaceX coming up, Cerebras is now filed, and OpenAI and Anthropic are both highly anticipated to go public as well. So how are you going to get shares before these companies go public? Moomoo is an investing app used.
I feel like some of you guys take me for granted, man. I really do. I feel like I could take it for granted.
Used by tens of millions of traders around the world, including myself. And they've got a great track record when it comes to getting everyone who requests IPO shares an allocation. And the bullish
Okay, that actually wasn't what I thought it was. That's fine, actually.
IPO last summer that more than doubled on the first day, 100% of Moomoo users got an allocation. I just checked out the app.
I thought it was pre-IPO perps, and I was about to have like a little thing.
There's always
my fault, OG.
new IPOs popping up, they have a dedicated section. Now, there's a couple of other reasons why I use Moomoo. The first thing is you can trade more exchanges than just the American ones. There were 2 TC stocks like Soytech, which I called out in a recent video, and it's on my channel by checking it out.
Yeah, my fault, OG. That's actually a good sponsor. Moomoo, come rock with me.
All right, time to dive into the actual numbers in the filing. So Cerebras revenue grew 76% from 290 million in 2024 to 510 million in 2025. And there's 2 segments. Hardware is 70% of sales. In this business, companies are buying the chips outright at $2 to $3 million each, and they install them in data centers. The second segment is cloud and services. In this market, customers rent time on Cerebras chips by the token. Cloud brought in 152 million in 2025, and that was up nearly double from the year before. Cerebras boasts that their 10 biggest customers increased their spend 80% after making an initial purchase. Now, the profit line's a bit more complicated. Cerebras claimed a $238 million profit in 2025, but it came from a one-time accounting trick that hides how the core business actually lost 76 million last year, and that was even more from the year before.
I need some of those.
Company that's still burning cash. So this IPO is all about securing the capital they need to prove their product over the next few years. Outside of profitability, though, Cerebras is haunted by another big risk that hangs over the stock: customer concentration. A single country accounted for 86% of their revenue last year, and it's the United Arab Emirates. The UAE's sovereign AI company G42 was 24% of revenue, and the rest was from their state-backed university MBZ UAI. Now, this relationship came under scrutiny back in 2024, which is when Cerebras last tried to IPO. While the UAE is an ally, the US government triggered a national security review because G42 had tied.
Wait, what? Cerebras IPO failed. Following previous withdrawal in 2024 due to regulatory scrutiny. 2024 attempt was delayed over national security concerns regarding a major customer, G42. G42 is doing an Emirati artificial intelligence development holding company founded in 2018 based in Abu Dhabi. Interesting.
To China's Huawei. But the direction management is taking Cerebras really revolves around OpenAI as the main customer. In January, the 2 companies signed a $20 billion multi-year contract called a Master Revenue Agreement. The partnership will see OpenAI deploy Cerebras chips to power ChatGPT, and they'll even design custom AI models built around Cerebras' chips. If the OpenAI ramp plays out at $4 billion a year for 5 years, Cerebras might be able to 8x its annual revenue from one customer. Now, that's completely asymmetrical. We're talking about in a very short period of time. Now, going from 510 million to 4 billion in revenue would be absolutely transformational. It's one reason why the stock might actually be cheap, even at a $35 billion valuation. But that's the bull case. Now, Cerebras also has a budding Amazon partnership, which could help with their customer concentration. AWS is buying systems up front, installing them inside their data centers, and renting that compute to their customers. The partnership is key because, again, it could diversify Cerebras' revenue across Amazon's massive user base. But again, Cerebras is a high-risk, high-reward bet. So let's really go into what could go wrong with the thesis.
The video is
the biggest risk for Cerebras is what we just talked about. It has very few customers. Now, having very few customers is already a big risk because if one of them cuts you, your business plummets. But it's not just how few customers they have, it's the customers themselves. So for the UAE, it's not a risk only from a national security perspective, but the Middle East right now is extremely unstable. At the time I'm making this video, there's still a war raging in the region. There could be strained tensions between the US and Gulf states after the Iran war, and the decimation of oil revenues could also pose a major problem to the UAE. Now, the OpenAI deal is exciting, but it doesn't fix the UAE problem, and it's just shifting the concentration to another entity that people also think is very risky. OpenAI lost $13.5 billion in the first half of 2025. They're projecting to lose $665 billion through 2030. Meanwhile, Anthropic passed OpenAI in annualized revenue, and
this CapEx is backstopped. Government backstopped. Government backstopped CapEx. It's obvious that when the hyperscalers can no longer fund the CapEx, the government will.
Winning a lot of the lucrative enterprise deals that OpenAI feels that it's behind on. Now, it's a bit of a house of cards because Cerebras is going public, but for them to win, they also need OpenAI to have a very successful IPO. And the partnership comes with strict delivery schedules, a lot of commitments, and has a termination clause if Cerebras misses those, and it also blocks Cerebras from selling to OpenAI competitors, which limits their growth. Risk number 2 is around NVIDIA. Cerebras' entire pitch is that NVIDIA can't do inference efficiently, but they just spent $20 billion to acquire Grok, which was Cerebras' closest pure play.
Chamath Grok, not Elon Grok.
Inference competitor. The inference market is huge and fast growing, but NVIDIA is now firmly in the game with infinite resources. Next risk is just valuation. At a rumored $35 billion, the IPO could price Cerebras at roughly 69 times trailing revenue. That's more than 3 times NVIDIA, which grew at a similar rate in 2025. You should also factor in that VCs got to invest in this business at a $23 billion valuation just a few months ago. And it's unclear to me how Cerebras' business has become 50% better since then. In fact, I think it could be argued that OpenAI's success has only become more questionable since then. And if we look at recent tech IPOs,
the market has re-rated since then, though, to be fair.
Like CoreWeave or Figma, the stocks rocketed, but now they're trading at a fraction of their all-time highs. You have to understand the risks as an investor in any opportunity and decide what's worth taking and what's not. But there's a legitimate bull case for Cerebras that I want to explore as we wrap out this video. Cerebras is the only company in the world making a commercial wafer scale chip. Nobody.
Dude, that thing is fucking sick.
Cerebras is the only company in the world making a commercial
What do these cost?
wafer scale chip. Nobody else has solved the complex engineering problems to make it work, and there's a real moat there. The OpenAI deal could be more than just revenue. The start of a deep partnership where future models are designed
A couple mil? I was trying to wear one on my neck like Kevin O'Leary.
around Cerebras hardware that links the two companies together over the long term. It's true that OpenAI has gotten a lot of heat lately, people saying their models aren't as good, that Anthropic is beating them, but let's not forget how incredible this company is.
It's ruined if you get a speck of dust on it. Tulip King?
One of the fastest growing companies in history. It's doing $2 billion a month in revenue. They were able to raise over
One speck of dust, that thing is ruined. Like a singular speck. Whoa.
$120 billion private funding round. That's 3 times as much as SpaceX will raise in its
The GPU chip thing is so fascinating to me because I feel like chips are genuinely running the economy right now, and nobody in the world knows how these things work. Like, so few people know how they work, unless your brain is perma-fried. Because I didn't even know what any of this was at all prior to like 2 months ago. I obviously still don't, but nobody has any idea. Normal people in the world.
IPO, and it's already lining up to go public at a
I would pour champagne on it at the club. When you're in like a bottle pop off and somebody rips out the Cerebras chip. When you win a 1942 off at the club and someone rips out the Cerebras GPU.
trillion valuation. The broader inference market that Cerebras is targeting is also exploding. Bloomberg projected to grow from $251 billion to $672 billion in less than 3 years. That is a massive increase. Just 3% of that market would make Cerebras a $20 billion a year business. The tech is real, the market is huge, and the potential is clearly there. Buying Nvidia or AMD at $35 billion would be a no-brainer. But to close this out, I want to get you thinking. Buying this IPO isn't about just buying a futuristic chip company. You're buying a piece of the OpenAI supply chain. Cerebras in its current state is kind of like a bet inside of a bet, like a sports parlay. If you're long Cerebras, you're long OpenAI. OpenAI has to win to give Cerebras its NVIDIA moment. A parlay pays out more than the money line for a reason. A lot has to go right. If you enjoyed this breakdown, you'll love my investment deep dive.
I don't love hearing that, by the way, at all. I don't like that word.
On the most asymmetrical stocks on my Substack, which now has hundreds of paying subscribers, thousands of free subscribers. So go and check that out. The link in the description.
Comments? Nothing. I think in my parlay is like prize fighters. I don't know how to feel either. I mean, you want to talk about not trading something I have no edge in. I have absolutely zero ability to know what's going to happen with Cerebras, but I don't know. Maybe we'll fucking trade it. Like, I'm down to rip some longs into that thing. Why not? So this is pretty crazy. Is Trump is going on his trip to China, and he's bringing like the most important group of like the most important people in the world. And these are the people that are joining him: Tim Cook from Apple, Larry Fink from BlackRock, Steven Schwarzman from Blackstone, Kelly Ortberg, Boeing, Brian Skies, Jane Fraser, Chuck Robbins, Jim Anderson. Unbelievable squad here. Like the most important flight that's ever flown ever. And included in this list is none only than Elon Musk made the cut to China, which is crazy. But I made a joke on the morning call. I'm actually going to do it. Hopefully they don't all take the same flight. You put your entire family onto one airplane. Aren't you afraid? We're going to make the Trump KOL list on TradingView that we're going to track, which will be fun. But okay, Cerebras on Thursday. Leopold Aschenbrenner, 13F filings on Wednesday, which is going to be electric. I think Wednesday. His last portfolio was disgusting. Bloom Energy, Light, and SanDisk. And so his 1 year, I mean, I don't know exactly where the screenshot is from, but from his last 13F, Q4 25, Bloom is up 1,400%, CoreWeave up 166, Intel, this actually probably is wrong. Also, let me turn this TV off. That screenshot looks wrong, huh? Intel's up way more than this. Has to be. The screenshot feels wrong. SanDisk up 3,100% on this chart. Iran is on here. Just like the best names of all time. So we'll see what he's in. But you want to talk about some mega church trade opportunity? When this thing hits, Feb 2026. Got it. Thank you. When this thing hits the streets, people are going to be aping charts based off of what Leopold files. 100,000%. Situational awareness. And people are going to be fucking aping charts based off of what he's in. And I'm going to be honest, I'm ready to click some buttons. I'm ready to click some buttons based off Leopold Aschenbrenner. I mean, he's just, it's unbelievable what he's become. Serenity with size, do not disrespect the GOAT. Calling him Serenity with size is unbelievable. But it'll come out on Wednesday. I'm not sure if anybody else files. We covered Druckenmiller. I was like a while back, I feel. The Stanley Druck. I don't know how long ago that was, but we might be due for a new Druck filing at some point here in the near future. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, I also wanted to talk about this really bad. I really want to watch this video. It's been on the list. What happened to the guy with PFP of Tate on Polymarket trades? Link his profile, actually. Low-key link his profile. I forgot what he said that he was in and not in on stream. I really want to watch this Bloomberg video. Arius Brokey. I love that guy's name. Let me see. He's down 32K in the month. He came on last Friday. Is that true? No, 2 Fridays ago. 1 month. He's down 32K. Nothing crazy because his all time is nuts. Nothing crazy. All right, one more video just because, like, fuck it. It's Monday. I can't talk and we got to get these videos in to learn. How AI is pushing the semiconductor supply chain to the limit. I've been waiting to watch this for like 3 days. We'll 1.25x as well. I think this is an important one. Let's bake it real quick. Let's bank it, and then we'll talk about on-chain, and then we'll see what happens.
With Taiwan hanging in the balance, global superpowers are making moves.
The government of the United States has said, hey, guess what? This is strategically important to us. It has massive security implications.
The defense industry needs very highly advanced chips that are
We're just going to become fucking chip experts, brother.
Impervious, for example, to space radiation to power satellites and planes and things like this. So there's a defense industry motivation for governments to make sure that there are the right kind of semiconductors produced within their country's borders.
China doesn't feel that it can depend on the U.S. It believes in self-reliance and technological supremacy as well. But basically, it doesn't want to be left out. So it wants to develop its own homegrown chip industry.
And where does Huawei come in?
Well, Huawei is China's national tech champion. It's a company that's known for its hardware prowess.
Is this public? Can we trade this? Huawei?
In 2019, the U.S. had imposed sanctions on Huawei, basically cutting off its ability to get the components it needs to make its products. And there was a feeling that Huawei was in a lot of trouble.
At the time, China was a late start into chip manufacturing. Less than 10%
Everyone says yes, DNAP says no. I trust DNAP. So is everyone lying to me or what's happening?
of the country's chips were being supplied by Chinese companies with less advanced tech than foreign firms, which is at odds with the fact that China is also the world's largest market for chips.
China has a massive middle-class consumer base that it can sell electronics to.
So if it
could make and develop these capabilities in the chip industry, then it's almost supportable on a domestic basis.
But China has been notoriously secretive about its chip industry.
No one really knew where China stood. We had heard that Huawei was building some chip factories in secret. We identified 3 factories deep in the bowels of Guangdong, and I got the location. And when I got there, I was surprised.
The site was evidence of China's major domestic manufacturing efforts underway to skirt US sanctions.
I waited on Cisco in the 90s. Really? How?
We all thought that this wasn't possible because you need so much money in order to build these chip plants.
Estimates suggest building a leading-edge chip plant requires at least $30 billion in capital. Nonetheless, in 2023, Huawei shocked the industry with the debut of a China-made advanced chip that proved an unexpectedly rapid development and capability. China has also become the world's biggest producer of analog chips. But Chinese progress in advanced chip making has been stalled by fluctuating US regulation around access to state-of-the-art Western chips and chip technology. ASML's highly coveted advanced lithography machines are among the technologies blocked from being sold to Chinese companies.
China's advantages, they're spending and investing a lot of money in creating their own chips. The Chinese government launched a $50 billion chip fund, allowing a lot of these local chip makers to tap into in order to develop their chip-making capabilities. You also have all these big private...
All CapEx is backstopped. National security risk. Just... What if this time is different?
Tech companies, Alibaba, Tencent, also providing money and support, backing a lot of these startups.
Money is the name of the game. The Chinese government is considering incentives valuing up to an additional $70 billion to support domestic chip making. Meanwhile, the US is still doling out money from the Biden administration's $52 billion 2022 CHIPS Act in a major reshoring effort.
Wow, where was I for that?
Of its own.
Reshoring means bringing factories back to a certain country so that the physical ability to manufacture semiconductors resides in that country.
Where was I for that?
In 1990, nearly 40% of the world's chips were manufactured in the US. In 2024, it was only about 10%, so the US has ambitions to send that percentage climbing again.
The United States has never been the cheapest place to produce semiconductor components. Our labor costs are high, our regulatory burden is high, but there is an incentive now under the current administration, and another prior one, which involves subsidizing the creation of more manufacturing here in the United States.
About 7,000 miles from the TSMC gigafabs in Taiwan, there is a site, or collection of sites, that have earned a name inspired by none other than the birthplace of chip innovation.
What if we just did a fucking IRL, like, semiconductor tour and went to Asia? I took the camera and we went IRL stream, toured factories, went everywhere. Baba, SK Hynix, Samsung. You do that, but not the Strait of Hormuz? Yeah.
Welcome to the Silicon Desert.
This place, a few years ago, it used to be desert. And in a few years, we will have a little city here of fabs. Everything will start being like a science fiction, highly automated, producing thousands of wafers very soon.
On the one hand, the desert is good for chip fabs. Low humidity, decreased risk of earthquakes and floods, cheap land, and, of course, some tax incentives.
I would do some
On the
IRL
other,
streams.
the chip infrastructure has to be built up from scratch. To date, TSMC is committed to investing $165 billion in the Arizona fabs and is scheduled to receive $6.6 billion.
Can you just, like, long Arizona on news like this? Or that's just, like, real estate? Is that the only way to do it? Like, I wonder if you could just like... I wish you could just trade states like tickers, you know? I don't want to...
In direct
Arizona bonds.
funding from the CHIPS Act. As TSMC makes a splash with its first operations on US soil, major expansion
Moody bonds, if you're insane. I've never heard of that.
efforts are also underway by the OG American chip company.
Arizona
Do you know
not
the one?
hyperliquid.
Think back to your high school backpack.
There's a better way for
Long
everyone.
Arizona short the
From the company
Suns.
that invented the integrated circuit, Texas Instruments. The better way keeps getting better.
Everybody says, oh, the calculator company, right? And the reality is we do so much more than that. Our foundational chips are the backbone of essentially all modern technology as we know it.
Okay, so the calculators are cool, but this Texas Instruments story is about a different equation.
If it plugs into the wall or has a battery, it very likely has one TI chip in it. We have 15 manufacturing sites globally, and these
Send that link
manufacturing
back.
sites work together to provide tens of billions of chips every year globally to our customers. And for perspective, that's tens of thousands of chips coming out of TI globally every single minute.
That is a whopping 100,000 customers and 80,000 products. TI makes the kind of chips that perform more simple tasks, like sensing temperature to prevent overheating, or managing power as it moves through a device. The chips that keep our technology safe and running smoothly.
One of the most important things about the industry that you have to understand is its volume economics. Making a lot of chips as cheap as you can and selling them for as much as you can is the way towards victory.
Some of TI's chips sell for just a few cents each. They're cheaper
I can't stop you. It looks so good. Let's finish the video and then we'll look at the market.
and easier to make than today's leading advanced AI chips, meaning it's cost-effective to utilize lower-tier or even hand-me-down production equipment. But the company has made the countercurrent decision to invest $60 billion in advanced chip manufacturing tech.
We're actually in the subfab. The clean room will be just above us.
The details all come back to those shiny wafers.
Maybe you can come here and help me hold this, please.
This is a 200mm wafer, the size used by most analog chip companies.
And
This
Cerebras
is a
mugs that thing.
300mm wafer, primarily used for more advanced chip manufacturing. These are TI's big bet.
So going from 200 to 300 millimeter increases the surface area on the wafer by 2.3 times.
Meaning 2.3
What's the market cap of TI?
times the number of chips.
I also did follow Trading Axe thing, but it's not even worth covering.
So when you look here, there's kind of a collection of different chips, and you can see everything from, really big products here all the way to the very small, tiny ones.
Pause. Let that sink in. Those are chips.
No.
Yeah, it's quite amazing, isn't it? I think if I picked it up, you wouldn't be able to see it. I think it's about the size of a pepper flake, and yeah, in fact, very glittery.
At that scale, 2.3 times the number of chips could mean a competitive advantage of hundreds of thousands more chips per wafer.
So from this vantage point, you can get a sense of scale of this site. This will be TI's largest mega site. Over 5.5 million square feet, the same square footage as 2 Empire State Buildings. Wow. It's a huge site, mega site.
While TI doesn't make AI chips, it's hoping the current landscape propels demand for its essential chip business.
I think what we're seeing in terms of the growth and expansion of the whole industry is a mixture. We always have the nuts and bolts chips, but we also have AI pulling along those nuts and bolts chips too, because you can't build a server for a data center without some lower end, cheaper chips that do some of the grunt work, if you like.
I'm bloody freezing.
All right, get into those warm bunny suits.
So we're going into the first part of...
All right, we're good off of this. Interesting, though, to see how the fucking sausage is made. This chip stuff is insane. Genuinely insane. Also, yeah, it's unbelievable that Solana is the best looking alt. I kind of agree with you, man. I don't know what to tell you. Not the best looking, but it structurally looks solid, I must say, if it breaks this line. BTC, where's Lorico positioned right now? I'm stuck in this fucking... Ooh, I don't like this. Let's use Hyperdash. Fuck. What's it called? I should have it bookmarked. Thanks. Oh, what a scary account, brother. Lorical, $37 million P&L. Short Bitcoin, down 130K. The liquidation price is 376,000. Short ton, short hype. Close Zcash, I see. Close Zcash for $7 million P&L at 598. Nice. Wow. That was his best trade ever on this account. Who the fuck is this, bro? Who is this guy? By the way, Lorico had $200 million in account value with $196 million P&L back in September on this wallet only. That was the wrong click. I'd love to see Lorico 1v1 against Kobe or GCR. I think Lorico might be the best pound for pound trader there ever was in crypto. It's crazy. I didn't even really know who this was until like 2 weeks ago. If you're impressed by Lorical so far, back in 24, there was a trader everyone was watching named To the Moon. At TGE in November 2024, he received a massive airdrop for 509,000 hype, worth around 21 million today. But that's not what made him known. He became famous for his trading. In late 24, during the market drawdown, he took an aggressive BTC long, kept pushing size, and got liquidated multiple times, including a $15 million liquidation in October 2024. Back then, he was one of the most talked about names on hyperliquid Twitter. Looks like he sold most of his bags back in February 25 at around $20 and now holds only 10K hype staked, 415,000 on this wallet. Who remembers To the Moon? And there's a screenshot. And he goes, what is the point of these points? Is it just for fun? Turns out to be the greatest airdrop of all time in the history of airdrops. On the topic of on-chain, following up what we just saw with the Roaring Kitty hack, Crashes Clay, if you guys know, do you know who this is, chat? Crashes Clay. He was the Brett guy. And he basically came back and started chilling Troll, which is not particularly interesting to me as a coin. But what is interesting to me is 800% pump on basically nothing other than his bull posts, which is pretty unbelievable, I must admit. And so he did a space. I actually never heard him talk. Let's see.
Just need to, I am texting the
Is this him?
Dogecoin millionaire on Twitter to see if he'll
Dogecoin millionaire, bro.
Join us today, but I don't know if he'll see my message and come up. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying that at the B. Or, I don't know. I think you see what I'm saying though. It's like it's gonna be such a moment that no one's anticipating right now, right? This is just something that, dude, this one account, you can fuck off, bro. You're so annoying.
It's added like 100 mil market cap.
It keeps dropping a laughing emoji, bro. It's so distracting. Go F yourself, you fricker. So what was I saying? Yeah. I think Dogecoin millionaire, I think his troll position is gonna flip his Doge position. And I think when that happens, that is gonna go so viral or hit.
Look, I don't mean any shade to anyone, but we're not talking about the Dogecoin millionaire and the Big 2-6. Come on, bro.
Hit normies so hard.
I mean, come on. We just talked about Lorical up 200 M's.
Hard, kind of like he did go so viral with becoming the Dogecoin millionaire. And I know, because Doge is not so hot, you maybe don't think about the Dogecoin millionaire too much, maybe some of you, right? And
Chat, y'all be thinking about the Dogecoin millionaire and like how often? Like once a week, once a day, once a month? How often do you think about the Dogecoin millionaire? No, I feel like an asshole. No shade.
I totally get that. Doge is
I'm a daily thinker of DCM, but
not hot. Why would you think about the Dogecoin millionaire a bunch, right? It just doesn't make sense. But I think it's like
similar to the Roman Empire.
I don't think it's, once again, correct to say full circle moment, but it's kind of like 2021. He was like the first famous.
Yeah, I'm watching memory stocks and thinking about what Dogecoin millionaire was the guy.
Person, I feel like, to make millions on a meme. So, and with Troll, a big part of it is like, hey, this is not a smaller meme than any other meme you can name, right? Like, Troll's not really smaller than Pepe. It's not smaller than Doge when you're talking about the actual meme and how many people recognize it.
I was told was a legendary space for the record. I was told that this was like the space. And if I listened to it, I would buy Troll.
And possibly I would say use it more than Doge, Pepe, and a lot, like almost any meme. So I think that is just gonna go so viral, and that is something that's like 10 steps ahead. It's 10 steps out. It's not something that's gonna happen like now or this week. I don't know why though. That specific point just gets me excited because it's gonna be like this major moment that's gonna really make it feel like whoa. And then it's gonna hit Reddit, it's gonna hit YouTube, it's gonna hit everywhere. And yeah, it's just something I'm anticipating 10 steps ahead because I know a lot of people, most of the time you're thinking about like the present moment or you're thinking about like what's happening now or where's the price now. Whereas me, the only way I ever get ahead is always like, I'm not thinking about the present anymore. You know, I'm always thinking about like what are the following steps, like 5, 6, 7 steps ahead.
I mean, look, the guy added $100 million in market cap to Troll Chart. So, game is game. I respect it. I just wanted to hear what was going on exactly. But I don't even want to say this out loud because I'm going to get. There's like this like bit now with the Clippers, which is like, how can I make threadguy look as retarded? How can I make everyone as angry as possible at threadguy by clipping something he said on stream? And so I like don't even. It's just like hard to go from Cerebras wafer chips to Troll coin. Like the dichotomy of going back and forth is tough, you know? It's hard. It is hard to do it. Like I can't tell in which one I'm more retarded, but it's difficult to do both. Like it's just in the same stream is tough, you know? It's CT gonna love this clip. I don't know, you guys are the worst. I'm gonna see a Katsu clip with like 100K views. It's like threadguy admits he's like too superior to trade meme coins, and everyone's gonna be like, threadguy, fuck meme coins made you, you piece of shit. Fuck you. Fuck you back. How about that? I still love memes. But no, I gotta admit, this thing is unbelievable how much market cap he added. Unbelievable. And then last but not least, I have to just cover this now. Cerebras IPO doesn't make you think of Dogecoin millionaire? ? That's good. I wanted to just cover this right now so we could come back to it because I think it's gonna be something we're gonna want to talk about later. Is Circle USDC raises $222 million from BlackRock, Apollo, and others in ARK token presale valued at $3 billion. And so Circle USDC is the stable. Circle is the like token, the stock to trade. Just raised $3 billion or just raised $200 million in a presale for a token. They're going to value at $3 billion, which is nuts. I'm not really sure what to make of this, given Dev is like launching a second token. But it's going to be very interesting to follow how this works exactly. Andreessen led the investment. BlackRock, Apollo, and a couple others are listed. And so now you have stock, different token, and then stable. And it kind of screams exit like to me, but we'll see. Now, there's this angle, which is that like Circle has some really bad contracts that kind of cuck the business as is. And this is one of them, which is a USDC contract with Circle auto renews every 3 years. It could not be terminated. And What is it? What is it exactly? They give a crazy amount to Coinbase. How much Circle revenue goes to Coinbase? 60% of their total revenue goes to Coinbase on a contract that can never be terminated. Ever. And auto renews every 3 years. 60% of all the money they make. Approximately 1.6 billion last year. Directly to Coinbase. And so I don't know exactly what the angle is with this new token, but it potentially gets them out of like a liquid token that doesn't have these like this locked up fuckery basically. Why? I think they traded it for distribution because it was just going to be other tether dominance if not. So the number is unbelievable, right? 60% is like what are we even talking about? But in exchange for distribution. And then last but not least, if you feel bad about how your portfolio is performing right now, which I'm sure a lot of people do, I will do my best to make you feel better by telling you that Kathy Wood, ARK. Kathy, you should come on the stream. Which is basically just like leveraged tech stocks, is up 2% year to date. %2. And so if you're underperforming right now, these fuck you no entry charts they just are tough to trade. People will try to tell you you're retarded if you're not up X amount of money. Seriously, people will. People will try to tell you that if you haven't made X amount of money in this market, you're dumb or you're stupid. Or Your time is coming, brother. It's an unbelievably bizarre market. Yes, it's a raging bull market. And yes, there's infinite opportunities. But at the same time, it doesn't change the fact that these fuck you no entry charts are really tough to trade. They are really tough to trade. And we are going to just do everything that we normally do. Pull up, lock in, cover everything there is to cover, and do my best, do your best to get the best information out of it. So we have a sick week coming up. Wednesday is Chris Camillo, which I'm wearing like a double suit for. Thursday is Air Mass. I think he's going to be the best guest to ever come on the stream. Friday will be solo. Tomorrow will be full solo. I'm fucking sick as fuck, but I'm a fucking killer is what I am. I'm fucking sick and I'm a fucking beast, brother. And so there will be no missed streams. I don't believe there's been a missed stream since Counterparty started in June of last year. I'm not sure there's been a single missed stream. Now that's probably gonna change soon because it's like how this, these Aruba vacations. It's like you can't with just one day off. You need a couple days on the vacays. And so we'll see if the market wants to cooperate with me. It's fucked. I sent flowers out to like 4 different people and then Zcash dumps 30%. It's like, fuck my life, It's like the market knows. The market has a way of humbling you, but we are gearing up for what's probably going to be one of our best guest week in a while. And I'm looking forward to it. So I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to fix my voice, even though I've been told by neutral third parties that my raspy voice sounds nice. Now I can't hear myself. You can only tell me what you think, but I've had many neutral third parties tell me that the raspy and or morning voice is enjoyable is the word choice we will go with, I was going to say pleasurable, but that didn't really sound right. So we'll go with enjoyable. And if you like it, hopefully I get to bring it again tomorrow. And if you don't like it, hopefully I fix it by tomorrow. But okay, I'm leaving. I'm not going to scream. I love you. I appreciate you so much. I'll be here same time tomorrow, 30 p.m. EST, fully solo, 1 day out from Leopold 13F, 1 day out from Chris Camillo, the GOAT, 3 days out from Air Mass. And let's have a fucking week. Fellas, I love you. I appreciate you. Be great. See you tomorrow.